Hello my loves and welcome to the February 2022 Zodiac sign predictions video. In this video we're going to go through all 12 Zodiac signs. We're going to be talking about the astrology that will be affecting you in the month of February and what that's going to bring out for you. If you're watching this, be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising sign if you know what all three of those are. If you don't, I'll have a calculator link down below where you can go and check on what your signs are. You do need to know your exact time of birth and your city of birth in order to calculate your accurate rising sign. So if you do not know what either of those are, then you will not be able to calculate your rising sign, which is fine. That just means skip that part of this video. But if you do know what yours are, definitely go check out all three of those because that'll help you get a more accurate, all-encompassing view of your month of February. So with that being said, I'm very excited to get into it. February is about to be a huge month for each of the signs, especially because there's lots of trines and sextiles happening this month, lots of great transits for strengthening certain aspects of our lives and also major breakthroughs as well, helping us move forward since there's going to be no retrogrades after February 3rd. February 3rd is the day that Mercury finally goes direct, and after that, for the rest of the month of February, there's no retrogrades. So it's going to be a great month for moving things forward, pushing forward in life, no more stagnation, no more having to rethink certain things, no more having to review and go over and fix and revise. This is a time where things and energy are finally moving forward and allowing us to break through old patterns and old things like that. So I'm very excited about this particular month ahead. And with that being said, without further ado, let's hop right into today's video. All right, Aries, so to start us off this month, we have Venus trining Uranus starting February 1st, right when we enter this month. This is going to cause lots of, changes in ideas around career, wealth, your personal goals in life that you're trying to strive towards, since the 10th house is all about, what are we striving towards? What are we working towards in our life right now? So the fact that this is going to be affecting your second house, this is going to be your material possessions, your money, your career, your job, and then having Venus transiting your 10th house, trining this area, this is bringing about really good luck. And also, since Venus is one of the natural rulers of Taurus and it's going to be trining your second house, this is bringing in more abundance into your life. So get ready for more abundance, Aries, because this is going to be a great transit for, new action towards more abundance, new ideas around new goals that are going to bring you more abundance. And especially since we've had Uranus kind of, transiting the area of your second house for a little while, it seems like career has been something that's maybe a bit up in the air for you for the past little while. But since we have all these great transits happening in your 10th house for the next little while that are going to be trining, which is a really positive, strengthening aspect towards Uranus, towards your second house, we're finally strengthening career, we're finally strengthening our wealth, our finances, and thinking about new ways of saving so that we can, build a stronger foundation for our future, so that we can build more of our material possessions or material worth, so that we can, experience more of life and, climb the ladder to our biggest goals as well. With Uranus also, trining into your 10th house with lots of other planets going through there right now, that is causing, unexpected new shifts in your career life, unexpected new shifts in, your biggest goals that you have, the top of the peak that you want to reach, because the 10th house is like, where are your goals? How do we reach the top of that mountain? And so Uranus causes a lot of changes. This planet, trining your 10th house with all these other planets going through there, this is now calling you to have new ideas around new goals that you have. So what are these new goals? And how are we going to reach that? New unexpected things are going to be coming in and allowing you to start to manifest and bring that new energy in. We also have, you taking action towards your dreams during the beginning of February as well, because we're going to have Mars, which is going to be sextiling Jupiter. Mars is in your 10th house and Jupiter has been transiting your 12th house. These two sextiling each other is now, how do we take action towards expanding our ideas? What are these big dreams and ideas that we want to expand into, with Jupiter being in Pisces in your 12th house? So where do we want to expand? Right? This is going to be a fun time of daydreaming and thinking about, what you want to do. And then Mars is going to give us that empowerment and that energy to actually, take action on this and move forward in it. So all these new ideas, it's like finally we're feeling like the excitement to move forward in them. We also have Mars, which will be trining Uranus on February 7th, and this is affecting your 10th and 2nd house as well, just like Venus was. And so this is going to now allow you to, again, take more action upon these new ideas. There could even be like a new unexpected hobby or new interest that you have, or new ideas around, you know, building your wealth or building your material world, or even, you know, just new exciting hobbies in general. So around February 7th, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you Aries get some really great ideas around new hobbies and new interests that you desire to research or take action in. I also see that this is going to be a more energetic month around your goals and your ideas, so get prepared for that as well. We do also on February 10th have Mercury that is going to reconjunct Pluto. It's been doing a little bit of a dance with Pluto for the past little while as Mercury was going retrograde through this area in the past month, and now it is going to be moving forward and reconjuncting with Pluto once again. This happening in your 10th house, you're finally realizing what has been holding you back, especially in terms of your biggest goals. What has been holding you back here? Since it's in the sign of Capricorn, Capricorn can sometimes be very harsh on itself, really self-deprecating at times. So we might even be realizing that our own mental state has been holding us back a lot from our biggest goals. And this is a time of finally healing that, since Mercury is finally moving past this and it's not going to come back retrograde through this area for quite some time. So now we're finally realizing, okay, I finally see like why my mentality has been holding me back, especially in terms of the types of goals that I want to reach and how I limit myself. You know, what do I say to myself that causes me to feel like I cannot and won't be able to do something? Because you do have that power, Aries, you do. Oh my gosh, Aries is such an energetic sign that, you know, has so much curiosity and just is ready to get its feet wet into anything, right? And so now with Pluto and Mercury reconjuncting in your 10th house for the last time in a little bit, it is going to help you really break free of all of those limiting beliefs that have been holding you back from your biggest desires. So now we're finally having breakthroughs mentally. We're realizing that we need to have an ending to our negative thinking patterns, and we need to have a new beginning that causes us to, you know, change our mental state to be something that's more motivating and inspiring and positive and loving towards ourselves, rather than, you know, being too harsh or critical. Also Chiron, which is an asteroid, and it's the asteroid of our karma, it's the asteroid of our wounds that end up being our strengths. Chiron has been in Aries for the past little bit, so this has been transiting your first house, which is realizing, you know, where are my certain faults? And we're sort of realizing our karma, where we've had certain faults or wounds that have been triggered or have been triggering us. And so this is finally like cleaning out our old mentality and realizing sort of where certain problems have been stemming from. And this is causing a lot of self-transformation. And you're going to be realizing over the next year or so that these wounds are actually turning out to be your strengths. So this is another aspect that is happening. It's just something I wanted to point out in today's video, because since we had, you know, Mercury and Pluto and the fact that we also have Chiron, I feel like this is just going to be a huge realization on, you know, where we've been holding ourselves back. But it's also a huge development time of realizing that this, you know, these harsh things that we've went through, these wounds that we might have, these areas of healing that we need, are actually going to end up being our biggest strength. So definitely be on the lookout for that, because all this is developing into benefiting you in the end, okay? And then by the end of the month, on February 23rd, we have Venus and Mars conjunct while also sextiling Neptune. And Neptune has been in your 12th house. Venus and Mars are, of course, in your 10th house, as we explained earlier. So with this new sextile, this is thinking about, you know, what are those big dreams that you have? And this is also about taking inspired action towards it, especially since, you know, Venus, this is the planet of love. What are our passions, you know? Being conjunct with Mars, this is a beautiful aspect of taking the feminine and the masculine, the feminine that likes to think and likes to feel great, and then and also the feminine, which is the nurturing, is now conjunct with the action taking, and it's sextiling our dream life planet. What are our biggest dreams? You know, what are our goals that we want to reach? So all of this working in harmony, we're now kind of marrying the masculine and feminine energy towards, you know, our dreams and goals. So this is finally taking inspired action. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of Aries start to get very inspired around the end of the month and get inspired to take some sort of new action that leads you to a very positive, beautiful place. So with that being said, we're also going to pull a tarot card that is going to, you know, tell us a bit more about the all-encompassing energies of your month. And we have the moon. So subconscious things are going to start coming up for you. Look out for all sorts of subconscious patterns or unknown things happening. There's going to be unexpected stuff happening, unexpected things, unexpected paths revealing. So if you didn't once see a path from point A to point B, you know, if you have a goal that you want to reach and you've been curious about, okay, what does that path look like? What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get there? If that has been very unclear and very unknown, in the month of February, it is finally going to start to be revealed. You're finally going to understand, okay, I just need to start moving towards it. Maybe I don't see the entire path yet because maybe it's a long journey. You know, our eyes can only see so far, right? That doesn't mean you can't reach your goal. That doesn't mean that your goal is out of reach. It means you have to move forward towards it to get closer to it, and you have to keep moving in order to get there. That's all that means. Like, I can drive from here all the way across the country. I can't see that road. I can't see the entire road, but I can see where I need to start, and I can see the direction I need to go in. So just focus on, okay, what is my goal and how can I take action towards that? I don't see the entire path, but how do I start moving towards that? How do I start making these changes? Also, the moon also does deal with Cancer, which is our psychic intuition. So following your gut instincts, you're going to get random inspiration. Also, the moon does deal with the stomach as well. So what are you feeding yourself? Are you getting enough nutrients, water? Are you giving yourself enough of what you need? Also, one of the spiritual meanings of the stomach outside of, you know, digesting our food is also, you know, how are we digesting life? How are we taking in life? Are we taking it in positively, or are we taking in a lot of toxic stuff? How are you viewing in life? What are you allowing in? Don't allow in the toxic stuff from the past. Don't allow in toxic thinking patterns or limiting beliefs. What are you digesting? Digest positive nutrients, digest good things in your life, and that is going to be one of the biggest helps that will help shift you in your life towards more of your dreams and goals. So that is what we have here for you, Aries. I hope you enjoyed this little horoscope. Be sure to check out your other 3 signs or your other signs in this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye. All right, so my beautiful Tauruses, your month is going to be hugely about expansion because we have a lot going on in your 9th house. The 9th house is, you know, where we have our life philosophies, where we desire to expand into what we desire to do in the world, our purpose, right? And it is also an area of travel too. So some Tauruses might get, you know, some inklings of traveling and desiring to, you know, maybe do more, travel more, see more, experience more. The 9th house is also hugely about experience. So my Tauruses, you are going to have new goals around what you desire to experience in life, the goals that you want to move towards, and also renewing your way of thinking, your philosophies about life and things like that. I also see you renewing lots about who you are, because we start off the month with Venus trine Uranus. Venus is in your 9th house trining Uranus in your 1st house. And so this is going to start causing you to, you know, want to sort of renew your life a little bit and renew who you are, sort of make a new you. With Uranus transiting your 1st house, you've been going through a lot of personal changes for the past couple of years, and that is going to continue for the next few years as well. So be on the lookout. Lots of huge changes for Taurus happening over the next little while. And with Venus, you know, trining Uranus, this is a very beautiful aspect. Venus is how we nurture ourselves. You are now going to start desiring to nurture yourself a lot more. What is a lifestyle that nurtures you? 9th house, what is your lifestyle? How do you want to expand? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to become? what is a lifestyle that is going to suit you and is going to inspire you to begin to expand more. Because now February is opening up the doorway for you to start to expand more with this beautiful trine. Trines are where we strengthen. You are now strengthening your lifestyle, your belief systems to now serve also you, with Uranus being in your first house. So now this is going to strengthen you, your belief systems, to now renew and break free from belief systems that are limiting you. Because possibly in the past, there's been maybe certain belief systems that we're needing to get out of, that were a little bit too rigid, and maybe we've been a little bit, stuck in our ways. Because Taurus, they don't like to change very much. In order to get a cow to move, and I'm not calling you guys cows, but the bull is the sign of the Taurus, right? So in order to get a Taurus, a bull, to move, you can push it all you want. If that bull doesn't want to move, it's not going to move, right? So even if it needs to, it's not really going to start moving until it needs to. But once you get a bull, moving, it is unstoppable. So Taurus, you can become unstoppable in anything, but it's garnering enough motivation and energy around something, enough inspiration around something to actually begin it. Okay, so with all of these planets coming into the 9th house in the sign of Capricorn, this is going to start to inspire you more about life. This is going to begin to strengthen these new ideas that you have for yourself. And so since we're going to start to strengthen these new ideas that you have for yourself, this is going to allow you to start getting the bull to move. This is going to allow you to start gaining enough energy and enough, again, motivation to begin your biggest goals, to actually start to move towards that new area. Also, the 9th house is where we have our life philosophies. So I do also think that your life philosophies might be shifting a little bit, because we're starting to realize maybe we have certain philosophies that are keeping us stuck and limited. And, with all these great transits coming about, maybe we're going to start to realize that adopting a new philosophy about life is actually going to begin to benefit you, and also maybe even motivate you more into the right direction. So this is now about lots of shifts around you and what you desire to expand into, because now this is really calling Taurus to start to expand. And there's a lot of energy in this area, so I really think a lot of Tauruses are going to find the momentum to move and create this new drive, this new goal, these new ideas to begin to flourish. Okay, we do also have Mars, which will be sextiling Jupiter. Mars is in your 9th house, Jupiter's in your 11th house. So this is also the possibility of meeting new people in the month of February, being a little bit more social as well, taking action in your social life. But this can also talk about bigger dreams as well, because Jupiter's also, the sign of humanity, the rest of the world. So our impact, what do we desire to do for the rest of the world? How do we desire to show up in the entire world? Who do we desire to be? So this is going to be calling you to think about, okay, who really am I? How do I want to show up in the world? And who do I want to be? Who do I want to also surround myself by? Because you might notice that you start acting like the people that you hang around. We all do. We all absorb the energy of those who we're surrounded by. So this is another big question popping up in February for all my Tauruses is, what action do I desire to take around who I'm surrounding myself by? Because who I'm surrounding myself by influences my mentality and the actions I do. Because if I'm hanging around people that are constantly, just messing around and doing nothing, it's going to cause you to be in that same bubble and do those same things and take those same actions. But if we're surrounding ourselves by people that are inspiring, motivating, that are, helping us be our best self, that is going to cause you to also absorb those traits, because when you're surrounded by those people, you will find yourself doing similar things. So this is also asking you and calling you towards thinking about, who am I surrounding myself by? Okay, and then on the 10th of February, we have Mercury conjunct Pluto. It has been doing a little bit of a dance with Pluto for the past little while as Mercury went retrograde over this area and reconjuncted with Pluto. This has been happening in your 9th house, and so Pluto is the planet of endings and beginnings. Mercury being over here, Mercury rules our mind. So there needs to be new mentalities around life. You are going to be eradicating limiting mentalities, and also old mentalities that have been either hindering you or blocking you or holding you back. You might start to get and realize big epiphanies around this mentality that I've had has kept me in this state, thinking these same thoughts, taking these same actions from a place of fear or scarcity or lack that are causing you to create those outcomes. So if we're wanting outcomes that are beautiful, that are in alignment with love, with amazingness, we're going to have to begin to shift our mentality to be equal to that. And once we shift our mentality to be equal of the outcome that we want, we're going to start creating that outcome in our lives. And so I do think around the 10th of February, you're going to start having big realizations on, mindsets that we need to let go of. And also, what is the new mindset that I desire to adopt in my life in order to expand further in life, in order to, attain the lifestyle that I desire. Okay, we also, on the 13th, we also have Jupiter, which is going to be sextiling Uranus. Jupiter is in your 11th house with Uranus in your 1st. And so this is, allowing you to be able to expand more, and also expand more with yourself. How do you desire to show up and who do you desire to be? I think Taurus is, again, the huge theme in February for Taurus is expanding yourself, creating a new you, and how can we get to the next height? How can we get to the next goal? How can we get to, be able to experience more? Because I feel like Tauruses have outgrown their current scenario, their current situation. We've kind of been living it for the past little while. And I feel like there might be, either certain confusion, mental blocks, or feeling lazy or unmotivated. And that's stemming from the place of you've outgrown your current environment. You've outgrown your current world that you've created for yourself. We've gotten used to it. We've reached big goals that we've had, but now it's time for us to expand. So Taurus has been itching for something new, itching for expansion. And if you ever notice yourself feeling unmotivated or uninspired, it is because, my beautiful Tauruses, there is this desire within you. Your soul wants to expand now. And February is going to provide all the beautiful transits to start making that happen in your life. Okay? And yeah, there's also going to be a desire to just be around people that actually lift you up rather than drag you down. So with that being said, we're also going to shuffle our tarot cards. We're going to try to get one card for you to sum up the theme of your month, which we just had a follow card. So I'm going to go pick that up. Okay, one thing that's really weird is Aries got the exact same card. This is the moon card. That one also fell out with Aries. So I feel like just, getting one more card for you, but I'm also going to talk about that card since it did come out. So let's try to get one more. I'm really feeling this one right here. We have the 5 of Swords. This is about cutting corners, or also, being surrounded by people that, again, don't have your best interest in mind. Friends that really love you don't want to see you doing things that are holding you back or harming you, or things that are unhealthy. Sometimes friends have unhealthy habits, but friends that are true friends don't want to see you being unhealthy and won't try to influence you into being unhealthy. Also, this could be your own limiting mindsets as well. So where are we sort of, stealing our own light? Where are we sort of, having mindsets that are stopping us from achieving our best? Where are we being too harsh with ourselves? Where are we being too harsh and judgmental with others? Are we being too harsh and judgmental on the entire world? Like, what do we need to shift? Because there's some sort of shift that needs to take place, whether that's who we surround ourselves with, or also our own mentalities that might be, holding us back and stopping us. We also do have the Moon card here. So again, with both of these cards, the Moon card talks about unexpected surprises or unexpected things coming into our lives. And so you might start to realize this unexpected perspective that comes into your life to make you realize where you've been, unfortunately, sort of like cheating yourself out of the goodness of life. Where have we been unknowingly letting our energy just falter, or where we've been being lazy even. So when we're being lazy, we're unfortunately, giving up our energy to something else. we're giving up our energy towards the TV or towards our phones or towards something that's not really aiding us or serving us. So now it is time for you to start to cut out and realize what has not been serving you, Taurus. What has not been serving you? What actions, habits, people, things have been stealing your energy rather than giving you energy? You might realize that you have certain habits, there might be certain habits in your life that actually drain you rather than uplift you in any way, but for some reason we keep doing them. So what certain habits do you have that are taking away your energy, that are stealing your energy, rather than inspiring you and lifting you up? Because there's something in your life that has been dragging you down, Taurus. There's something in your life that has been completely dragging you down rather than lifting you up, but we keep doing it anyway. We keep allowing it to happen because we have not yet become consciously aware of what it's been doing to us. For some reason, we just keep doing it. We don't know why. So now is the month to find out what was that thing. And now it's time to transmute that and change that so that my beautiful Tauruses, you can now finally expand. And the moon won't be the moon anymore. It'll turn into the sun. And all of a sudden we have clarity over, our path, where we want to go, what we want to do. Don't let people steal your energy. Don't let bad habits steal your energy anymore, because we need that energy. That's that life force energy that can help us move mountains. It can help us reach any goal. So who do you desire to be? What do you desire to do with your life? Because it's time to save that energy and put it in the right places so that you can get there. So that is what we have for you, my beautiful Tauruses. February is finally a month of major breakthroughs and realizing how we desire to expand, and it's finally giving you the opportunity to expand in many aspects in many areas. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to give a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to see you there, and I'll see you hopefully in the next one. Bye! Alright, so my beautiful Geminis, welcome to your horoscope for the month of February of 2022. So we start off February with Venus trine Uranus. Venus is in your 8th house. It's been transiting your 8th house in the sign of Capricorn, and is going to be trining Uranus in your 12th house in the sign of Taurus. So this is going to cause tons of spiritual awakenings, unexpected new goals to begin to arise. This is also ending old habits and patterns. This will be adopting new goals in your life. This is also going to lead to big like transformation, because I almost see you, the 8th house is all about endings and beginnings. The 12th house is all about like spiritual awakenings. It's also about secrets, unknown, hidden stuff coming to the surface. It's about the other side, psychic abilities, gut instincts and feelings like that. So I almost feel like Geminis, you've been going through a transformation without even knowing it. And so I think that, with Venus here trining Uranus, Uranus is unexpected. There's been some sort of unexpected transformation, and Venus is again the endings. There's endings of old ways of being. You've reached to the top of your other goals, your other mountains, but now it's time for you to think about, okay, what's the new mountain that I want to reach? So you didn't even realize that you're in this cocoon of transformation, but I think in February you're realizing like, oh, I am this butterfly that's now awakening. I didn't even realize that I was in a cocoon, but now it makes sense, because I feel like you Geminis, you've been going through major transformations mentally because of Uranus transiting your 12th house. There's been unexpected mental shifts. There's also been, endings and beginnings in terms of, who you are, how you nurture yourself as well, since Venus is how we nurture ourselves, and it's been in the 8th house of endings and beginnings. So how do you nurture yourself? How do you give yourself love? There's been new endings and beginnings over here. This is also going to cause lots of strengthening of your mind as well, because this is a trine between Venus and Uranus. So this is strengthening your spiritual connection to yourself. The universe is now calling you to strengthen your spiritual connection. It is calling you to start strengthening your mind. So you might have noticed that you're going through maybe certain mental, hurdles and obstacles that we need to overcome, because this is meant to strengthen you. You're a cocoon right now, transforming from a caterpillar into a butterfly. You are transforming. You are now growing your wings, but growing your wings is not an easy aspect to go through. And so Geminis might be, going through certain, mental challenges and realizing that, oh, it's time to finally free myself. I'm just growing my wings. That's all that's been happening. It's going to be a good thing. You also might realize that there's endings in certain goals that you wanted to reach. So You know, there's a lot happening in your 8th house during the month of February. So this is ending all the things that you've already completed. You've already done this. You've, you know, outgrown certain things in your life. You've really outgrown certain things, and it's time for you to have a renewal. And so it's time for us to, you know, open up and start to let go of the things that we've outgrown. Because Gemini, you've definitely outgrown lots of things in your life. So it is time, in order for you to expand, you need to let go of the old. In order for the new to even come in order for us to even get ideas about the new stuff, we need to start letting go of our old habits, our old things, you know, our old lifestyle, and start welcoming in, you know, the new stuff, because you've shifted quite a bit. And so this is all about, you know, strengthening you, strengthening your intuition, strengthening your psychic abilities. Also, Venus doesn't even like the 8th house, because Venus is all about, you know, nurturing growth, whereas the 8th house is all about, you know, endings and the underworld. Venus wants to shine, okay? So this is also calling you to allow yourself to shine. You know, ending old thinking habits that, you know, we need to be a certain way, we need to present ourselves a certain way. This is also deconstructing your limitations on yourself, deconstructing who you think you need to be. Venus wants to shine. The 8th house is, again, we've kept ourselves below the surface. Right now your shine is like below the surface. We haven't been allowing it to come out. Now's the time in February with these beautiful trines to allow it to come out in new unexpected ways. Trining Uranus, we need to allow our light to come out in new unexpected ways rather than keeping it below the surface, because Gemini, it doesn't do anything to keep your light below the surface. It doesn't serve anybody to, you know, diminish your light or to hold back your light in order to please other people, or in order to not trigger other people, or, you know, in order to keep yourself, you know, feeling safe or secure. You need to just let yourself shine, and let it shine in new unexpected ways, because maybe our old ways of letting ourselves shine don't feel right anymore. Maybe it's like we've changed so much as a person that, you know, that doesn't feel right anymore. So we haven't even realized that, you know, we are this cocoon right now. We're a cocoon because we're transforming so much, and we're wondering, you know, why don't I feel comfortable doing this anymore? Why don't I feel comfortable doing that anymore? Well, Gemini, it is because you are transforming below the surface so much that, you know, this beautiful trine to Uranus is going to help you realize that we can no longer stem up the same ways that we have before. There's concrete above that. We can't sprout that way anymore. We're realizing, like, it doesn't feel right to keep sprouting in those same old ways anymore. We don't feel like that's our spot anymore. We don't resonate with it anymore. So again, Uranus is about unexpected change, right? So this beautiful trine to Venus is allowing Venus to now shine, because Venus wants to shine, but it's like caught below the surface. This Uranus is now going to be the new light for Venus to pop up in new ways, show up in new ways, pop out beneath the surface in a brand new way that is unexpected. So this beautiful trine in February is going to allow you to start realizing how we can do that. Okay, I also see you being able to take new action towards new goals and expand your finances, because we do have Mars, which is in the 8th house as well, that is going to be sextiling Jupiter, which is in your 10th house. So the 10th house is all about our biggest goals. It's also about our career, how we make money, things like that. With Jupiter being in the sign of Pisces over here, this is helping you think about new inspirations, especially around work or other big goals that you have. And Mars is the planet of action. Again, it is in the 8th house, so this is transforming how we take action, how we show up, what we're desiring to do. So this is a whole reset of Gemini. Gemini, you're going through a massive reset of who you are. Because again, you're feeling like it's not right to show up in old ways anymore. You feel like you've outgrown all of those things. You see them in a new light. You've grown in so many new ways that now are wondering, okay, how do I sprout up again? Where do I go to feel my light again, to feel like I can shine my light again? It has to happen in new, unexpected ways that we haven't seen before. And that is how we can continue to expand. Because again, you've already expanded to the top of your previous goal. We've reached the top of that. Now I need to, you know, go in a new direction in order to continue expanding and to continue moving forward and to continue growing. So the month of February is now opening all those new doorways for us to sprout in these new areas. So I hope this is making sense right now. My examples are kind of all over the place, but yeah, it's like you're the mycelium of mushrooms, like growing underneath the surface, and you're gonna pop up in unexpected areas, right? Because sometimes the mycelium of mushrooms can go like so many different directions, and also with plants too. And that's how trees can pop up in new areas, and that's how they sort of, you know, grow new offspring. Certain plants will just grow root systems underneath the earth, but it doesn't feel right to pop up in these certain areas because it feels like, you know, we're too limited to pop up here or there. We need to continue expanding outwards and then pop up in a brand new area and show our light in a brand new area. So Geminis, that is what you're being called to do right now. On February, or sorry, one thing I want to also talk about, on February 10th, we're going to have Pluto and Mercury reconjunct. They've been doing a little bit of a dance while we've had this Mercury retrograde for the past month. So they've been, you know, conjuncting and like going retrograde, and now it's coming back, and it is going to reconjunct Pluto again. And this is going to be happening in your 8th house. So this is going to transform you mentally. On the 10th of February, there's going to be big breakthroughs mentally about who you desire to be, the mindset you now want to adopt and have in your life, how you can, you know, end old mindsets and move into something that's expansive for you, to move into something that's passionate for you, because the 8th house is also where we find lots of passion and desire, and we realize that we've had desires beneath the surface that maybe we haven't let come through yet. So now it's time to let new passions and desires start to begin to sprout and be open to them, because they might be unexpected too. You might not expect them to pop up in these certain ways, but they will be. So there's going to be that. And then also on February 23rd, we're going to have Venus and Mars conjunct while also sextiling Neptune. So this is happening in your 8th house, and then Neptune is in your 10th house. And this is going to be transforming your biggest goals, because there's things that you possibly don't feel like doing anymore, things that again you've outgrown, just as we've been talking about. So it's time to find what you love to do. Mars actually likes the 8th house. This is where we take action on, like, you know, passions and desires and things like that. It's a huge transformation thing. So Mars is going to start to like deconstruct the old things, the old ways of being, and Venus is now going to feed and nurture new ideas while also again sextiling Neptune. Neptune is about our fantasy dream life. So what does your fantasy dream life look like? It's going to start to be a lot different than what you used to think. So it's time to start planning that out. And then February is the month where now we're finally starting to take action and letting our light shine in these new ways, and finding ways to let this light shine while also ending our old ways of shining, because our old ways of shining are just not doing it anymore for us. So now it is time for that big transformation to take place, essentially. So that is what we have happening for you in the month of February. Lots of endings and beginnings, and finding new ways to shine, because Gemini, it is time for a refresher. And Geminis love change. Geminis are very good at change, so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you do have an easier time with this, just because Gemini is a very mutable sign. So usually it has a very good time with change. But sometimes it can get confusing in the 8th house where we don't know where that change is coming from. So that is the only thing. But we're going to now shuffle these tarot cards and get one tarot card to give the overall all-encompassing energy of your month. So let's see what we have here that fell out. Of course, we have the Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands, look at this new direction you're going in. It's time to shoot up in a new direction. It is time to sprout in a new direction. Ace of Wands is definitely all about new directions, new sprouting, new inspirations, new passions that are growing and cultivating beneath us. So there's like a new seed that is beginning to sprout within you in the month of February, and a new direction that you are desiring to create and go in. And the universe is like, yes, follow that. That is correct. Definitely go in that direction. That is what is meant for you. You're finally finding what is meant for you. And the North Node is now going into your 12th house. So there's a desire to have a bigger purpose behind everything that you're doing lately. There's a desire to expand more into like your own intuition, into maybe even exploring the other side, the occult, because that's also the 12th house, exploring deeper into the secrets of life, the meaning of life, things like that. So that could also be another interest of Gemini as of late. So with that being said, that is what we have here for my beautiful Geminis. Lots of beautiful transformation. It is happening for your benefit, for you to shine and expand so that your light can shine bigger than it ever has before. But you're just going through the cocoon time of now growing your wings, because again, within growing your wings, you don't even realize that, you know, the transformation that Gemini is going through right now, all this unexpected kind of change and shifts, this is happening because right now you're unknowingly growing wings. Like a caterpillar doesn't know that it's about to become a butterfly. It kind of, you know, goes into its cocoon, turns into a whole entire liquid, starts transforming into a butterfly. It doesn't even know what's happening to itself until it blossoms out of the cocoon. So this is like you know, breaking free and shining your light in a new way, popping up below the surface and realizing that, oh, that's who I am. That's why I had to go through this transformation. That's why I had to end these old ways of being, is because I became this internally. I became something else internally. Therefore, I cannot continue doing life the old way. Like a butterfly can't just continue crawling. It's gonna just, like, what's the point of that? You know, you have these beautiful wings now. So right now you are growing those wings, and February is the month where you're sprouting out of the cocoon. And you're finally coming out of the cocoon and realizing, okay, how do I utilize these wings? It's the realization that you have these wings. So that is what we have going on in February for you. I hope you guys have an amazing month ahead. I'm sending you all my love. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future. I'm very excited to make them for you, and I hope to see you there. And with that being said, I'll see you hopefully in the next one. Bye. All right, so my lovely Cancers, welcome to your part of the horoscope. To start off February, we have Venus trine Uranus. Venus is in your 7th house in the sign of Capricorn, while Uranus is in Taurus in your 11th house. So this can be unexpected events coming up to see friends or loved ones. This could be unexpected new, you know, situations coming up to be a little bit more social, to be a little bit more open, things like that. And this can also be about finding more balance in your life by thinking outside of the box, because Uranus is all about thinking outside of your regular circle, your regular bubble. So there's certain limitations that you need to break through in order to find more balance into your life. The 7th house is also all about balance. It's also about, you know, friendships, the people that we surround ourselves by. And with Venus here, it's time to like nurture these areas. But we have to go along with change, because Cancers, there's been lots of changes happening in our world, tons of changes. And as a Cancer, maybe you're so used to, you know, doing things a certain way, and when certain changes happen, you know, Cancer the crab can get a little bit like, huh? Like, what is going on? How do I deal with all of this? So it is time to break outside of the box. It is time to break outside of your current routine in order to create something brand new. Uranus is calling you to do something new, and Uranus being in your 11th house, this is, you know, new ways. There has to be new ways of doing life. We have to think outside of our regular box, because as things change, when things shift, our old mindsets and all of our old things that we're used to might not fit into our current world anymore. So now we're being called to, you know, make a new life for yourself and see it in a new way, but see it in a new inspiring way. It doesn't have to be daunting. It doesn't have to be scary. It can be something that's ultra inspiring too. And so with Venus trining Uranus in the month of February, this is going to really help you find balance again in the unexpected. This is going to help you find balance again in your relationships in your life. So this is also helping you balance out certain relationships in the month of February. It's going to be beautiful. So this is strengthening those aspects of your life. We also have Mars in the 7th house that's going to be sextiling Jupiter in the 9th house. So this is also time to start expanding your mind into realms of possibility rather than sticking to limiting mindsets and beliefs. Because when we stick to the limitations, when we're stuck on what we cannot do, when we're stuck on the rules that we have, when we're stuck on our current reality, when we're stuck on that, we don't allow our mind to expand into realms of possibility. Because when we're stuck on a problem, all we see is the problem. When we get outside of the problem, when we shift our mind outside of the problem, this is where you start to find solutions. This is where the problem no longer exists, because it's no longer what you're focused on. You can focus on problem all you want and problem will grow. If you shift your focus to possibility, to love, to hopefulness, to belief that there is a way, to, happiness and excitement and joy, you will begin to grow that, because your mind will inevitably, if you only focus on those things, your mind will inevitably have to only think about that. And as it starts to think about that, your mind is a beautiful thing. Whatever you think about, your mind will start to, spread off into all these different directions. That's why whenever you think about something, even a problem, the problem seems to get bigger and more frustrating, because our mind is a beautiful tool at being able to expand into something. Whatever we focus on, it can expand into that. If you're currently used to focusing on that of what you don't want, your mind has gotten used to growing that. So that might seem really big right now. If your mind, and you start to shift it towards possibility and growth and expansion and beauty and fun and love, it might seem small right now. But the more that you just call your mind back to focusing on what you desire to grow in your life, you are going to grow that. But sometimes we get addicted to our problems because they feel like a safety net. They feel like it's a great excuse as to why we're not where we want to be. It's a great excuse because that means the problem's outside of us. And whenever the problem's outside of us, we don't have responsibility, which feels good. We feel light when we don't have responsibility, but it's also us giving our power away to an external force, which means we can't do anything about it. We can't change our lives. All of us desire to live a life of love and harmony and beauty and, things like that. We all desire that. But sometimes we feel comfortable in our problems. They bring us comfort. They bring us safety because we're used to them. As you begin to shift your mind, it seems small at first, but as you begin to just continually bring back your mind towards love, bring back your mind towards expansion of good things, your mind will now start to expand those areas, because the mind, again, is this intricate, beautiful circuit that expands any thought that you bring it to. So start expanding the good thoughts, and you're going to realize the more that you shift your mind in this area, the more that you continue to bring it back to the good. Even when it wants to go to the bad, if you continue bringing it back over there to the goodness, it is going to now begin to find ways to expand that. And all of a sudden your problems are going to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, to the point where they feel like they don't even exist, because they don't have to exist. All of life is just perspective. And I also feel like for my Cancers, I want to read out this one quote by Marcus Aurelius. It is such a beautiful quote, and I feel like it's going to be very powerful for you right now. So the quote goes, let's see, this is going to be powerful, it's worth it, so just hang on tight. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." And what he means by that is, if you're distressed by anything external, by anything going on outside of you, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of the power that it has on your life. If you estimate that something going on outside of you causes you so much pain, so much harm, so much blockage, so much limitation, the pain is not due to that. The pain is due to your assumption or estimate of its impact on you. You have the power to revoke that belief at any time. You have the power to revoke that assumption at any time. It doesn't have to be that way. When we're constantly worrying about the future, when we're constantly worrying about the present moment and what might occur, we are giving so much of our power away to something that has not even happened. And when we do that, we end up growing that aspect of our lives. Therefore, we diminish our power in the present moment, because we're siphoning all of our energy to something that doesn't even exist, or to something that is external. Everything external is not you in the present moment. If you shift yourself in this present moment, you can shift yourself to such positivity, to such love, to such light, that you feel amazing, that you start to realize expansiveness within the present moment. Because there's always abundance, there's always expansiveness in every present moment. We can only see it though when we begin to focus on that. Let me go back to my astrology chart here. Anyway, so that is a big tangent that we went on there. Another thing that is going to be happening is Mercury is going to be conjunct Pluto in your 7th house. So this is going to start opening you up. So Pluto's been Mercury's been doing this dance with Pluto for the past little bit, because over the past month it's been, going retrograde over this area. Now it's coming back, reconjuncting Pluto once again. And so this is going to call you towards finding more balance in your life, because the 7th house is about balance. Excuse me, this is also an area about truth. This is also an area about our relationships in our life, our friendships, our partnerships, sometimes our family, but it's mostly like relationships and partnerships, and also sometimes the public world. So Pluto is the endings and beginnings here. With Mercury here, this is our mentality. So this is about opening up about how you really feel. For one, putting effort into your relationships, speaking your truth, and also hearing truth. This is also about where are we siphoning our energy constantly, and where do we need to stop focusing our mindset. Also, who do you surround yourself by is another big thing, because if we're always surrounding ourselves by people that continue to also have limiting mindsets, if we're surrounding ourselves by people who are also stuck in our same perspective of the world, if it's like limiting and things like that, we're going to be stuck in that. So how do we expand out of that? Fixing who we surround ourselves by, or fixing the types of conversations that we at least have with those people when we're with them. So a big thing that Cancer needs to do right now is finding things outside of the box. So think outside of the box. February is the month of thinking outside of the box to find amazing things that can feel good in the present moment, amazing things that you can do in the present moment to feel good now, rather than waiting for an external thing to change in order for you to feel good, because we cannot wait for the external world to make shifts before we can start living. Because that is us limiting ourselves, that's us giving our power up to the external world. Take your power back, Cancer. February is about you taking your power back. How can you make the best out of this current moment? It is up to you. It is in your hands. It has always been in your hands. It will always be in your hands to create the best life for you. So what can you do right now? What feels good for you to do? What feels amazing? It's time to start focusing on that, cultivating what feels so good for me, and calling your power back away from the external world and back into your personal world. Okay, because by the end of the month, we also have Venus and Mars conjunct in your 7th house, while also sextiling Neptune. Neptune in your 9th house, this is about expansion. So this is, your fantasy is to expand. The 9th house is about travel, expansion, new philosophies. So the universe by the end of February is going to call you to have a new philosophy on life, to have new perspectives on life. New information is going to start coming in that is going to, motivate or inspire you to have new perspectives on life and how you can build your dream life. Because Venus and Mars conjunct, Venus is the planet of the feminine, the divine feminine, which is the nurturing, and then the conjunction to Mars, which is the divine masculine, which is our action. So we're finally marrying our nurturing and action side towards our dream life. So how can we nurture our dream life? How can we feed our dream life? How can we take action towards our dream life? Because there's always possibility to take action and to nurture your dream life, regardless of the external circumstances. There's always ways. So by the end of February, this is how can we break free from our mental limitations? How can we create our dreams and put them into action. So February is about things finally moving forward, about us finally putting our dreams into action, about us, you know, finally breaking free of certain limitations that have maybe been on us, and things like that. So with that being said, we're also going to go ahead and take a tarot card to give us any last information on your month, you know, kind of like an overall encompassing card for your entire month. We got 2 here. Ooh, we have the 3 of Wands and the 10 of Cups, a beautiful combination here. So the 3 of Wands is a card that's sort of about transformation and also about sort of realizing that there's so much in front of you. There is so much possibility. We can either stay stuck on the past where our possibility is limited to our previous perspective, or we can grab hold of our future and we can take charge of our future by being in the present moment and making whatever changes that we need to make in the present moment in order to ensure the future that we desire, because the future will never shift without you shifting in the present moment. The future will always be the same as your present moment. Your present moment determines what your future will be. If your present moment is fear, scarcity, limitation, that is what your mindset is going to be. Therefore, you are never going to shift out of that and create a new future without changing the present moment, because the future does not exist. The future is up to possibility. How do we get the future we want? We get the future we want by making any small changes in the present moment that shift us on our path, that cause us to be on a new path, that brings in a new future. So your new future is going to be amazing, Cancer, because it's leading to the 10 of Cups. Whatever shifts you make in this present moment now, in the month of February, because February is going to be an amazing month of making shifts, just because there's no retrogrades and there's all these beautiful aspects that are helping us break out of limitation, which is going to be amazing, okay? So we're breaking free of limitation. The month of February is the most beautiful month for calling in a new future and making a new future. In Cancer, your future is going to be beautiful, so please do not worry about it. We have the beautiful 10 of Cups right here. 10 of Cups is one of the best cards in the deck in terms of the, like, calling in a beautiful future. You are calling in a beautiful future as long as you take control and take your power back in the present moment, which is what February is calling you to do. So get ready for an amazing month, because this is the month that is going to allow you and call you to begin to break free of external limitations. Those don't have to limit you unless you allow them. We can think about new things, we can expand in new ways if we have an expansive mindset. So, with that being said, my beautiful Cancers, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, which I would love to have you there, and hopefully I do see you there. And I'm signing off of this one, and we're gonna go into the next sign. So I love you, my Cancers. Bye. Alright, so my beautiful Leos, here we go into your horoscope for February of 2022. So we start off with Venus being in the sign of Capricorn, transiting your 6th house while trining Uranus, which is in your 10th house in the sign of Taurus. So this is, for one, calling you to shift your habits. So in February, I would not be surprised if we start off the month with you realizing like, hey, I want to have new habits. I want to focus on health, because Venus in the 6th house in the sign of Capricorn, this is hugely about your health, your well-being, your routines that you have. How can you nurture the future that you desire? While making a trine to Uranus, this is strengthening its aspect to your future goals, because your future goals are determined by your routines. What routines do you have? What action are you taking in your life? What habits do you have? Because these habits are determining your future success, right? So with Venus trining Uranus, this is now strengthening and calling you to make strong habits and patterns and routines that serve the future that you desire, that can cause you to make these beautiful progressive changes in your future to reach the big goals that you desire to reach. Because Uranus being in your 10th house and sign of Taurus, this has been causing a lot of unexpected maybe career shifts. This is also causing, unexpected money to come in, or even us spending an unexpected amount of money. But Venus being here trining this is going to help you realize, how can we get our finances in order? How can we create good financial habits? How can we create good eating habits as well? How can we create good fitness habits? Because the 6th house is also all about health. And there is a lot happening in your 6th house in the month of February. There's tons of planets over here. We have Mars, we have Venus, we have Mercury, we have Pluto. So how can we end old habits that are no longer serving us? And how can we move into the habits that do serve us? So we have that there. And also it's like, one of the things that I even wrote down here is like a little, good example of this is, we cannot reach our goals with a vessel that has been abused or neglected. If we're driving a car, we know that we have to fill it with gas and we need to get proper oil changes, if you're not driving an electric car, for example. But, we either need the electricity or we need the gas and the oil changes in order for us to keep functioning properly. If we don't do that, we're going to putter out and crash on the side of the road and wonder, okay, why did I crash on the side of the road? Have you been feeding yourself proper stuff? It's almost like putting the wrong gas into your car, or trying to charge a Tesla with a really old, a AA battery. You cannot charge a Tesla with a AA battery. So why are we trying to do that? Also, if we're going to get gas in our car and say our car has a minimum octane of 91, are we going to fill it with something lower than that? If we do, we're really damaging the vessel of our car. It might not last as long as we're hoping it to, right? There's things that could go wrong. Or are we filling it with diesel instead of gas? Are we filling gas instead of diesel when we need that? What are we doing, right? So Leos, the month of February, it is time for an oil change. It is time for you to charge yourself back up in the right ways. It is time for you to put the right gas in your vehicle. So Leo, the month of February, this is shifting habits so that you can reach your biggest goals. This is strengthening and solidifying your habits to be ones that benefit you, ones that help you reach your biggest goals, rather than ones that diminish your ability. Because maybe we're just trying to get to one small little place and we're just like, any gas will do at this point just so I can get there. But then when you get there, it's like, well, you've really done some damage. So we can't just think about short-term goals. We can't just think about quick satisfaction anymore. Quick satisfaction is not going to help you in the long run. Quick satisfaction is going to cause a lot of damage down the line. So now it's time for you to think about long-term success. What is our long-term success? Maybe buying that fancy pair of shoes is not going to help us in our long-term success, because maybe we can use that money to invest it instead of spending it, and then spend it on a big goal that is more of an investment rather than quick temporary satisfaction. We do also have Mars, which will be sextiling Jupiter. Mars is in your 6th house and Jupiter is in your 8th house. So this is the need to end old habits in order to expand into your goals, your desires, and things like that. Also, your desires may be shifting, because when Jupiter's in the 8th house, this is endings and beginnings. So maybe our previous ways of expansion are now being rethought out. We're ending our old desires, and there's new desires that are coming in. New dreams that are coming in. So how can we take action towards that with Mars being here sextiling this area? Mars is the planet of action. And so as it sextiles Jupiter, we're now jumping into new goals, new dreams, new desires. We do also have Mars in the 6th house that will be trining Uranus later on in the month, during the middle of the month. This is going to be making new strong connections towards larger goals, because the 10th house is about big goals. The Mars is all about action. So how can we start to actually take action in this new routine to reach these really big goals, to actually transform your health, your routine, your career, Okay, because North Node is also in the 10th house right now. North Node just moved into the 10th house for Leos. So now there's new big goals, big dreams that you guys desire to attain. Now it's time to start taking action towards that with Mars beginning to trine Uranus here. We do also have Mercury that will be conjuncting Pluto on February 10th. These will be conjuncting in your 6th house. Pluto is the planet of endings and beginnings, and Mercury's been kind of doing this little dance with Pluto for the past like month as it went retrograde through this area. Now it's going direct again and will be reconjuncting with Pluto. So this is ending bad habits, ending old routines and schedules, also ending limitations that have been holding you back in your life, limiting mindsets, limiting belief systems, because Mercury is all about our belief systems, our mindsets, the things that we're learning, the things like that. So it's you finally realizing, okay, what is no longer serving me? What is actually limiting me and holding me back? What is being a detriment to myself? Like, what are habits that I've had that have been a detriment to me? And how can I transform that this month to be in my benefit? Because Mercury now going direct in this area, we've finally had all these big realizations. Leo, cheers to you, because we're finally having all of these big realizations, and with these realizations comes the ideas about how we can fix them, what we actually do need to implement, what is our new inspiration. So now all of these new inspirations are going to start coming in and taking place so that we can focus on the goodness that we desire to manifest, the goodness that we desire to build in our lives, rather than building temporary pleasure that ends up actually destroying our long-term success. Now we're focused on that long-term success, and we're going to start bringing in positive change into our lives. Okay, and then at the end of the month on the 23rd, we're going to have Venus and Mars, which will be conjunct at this time in your 6th house. It is going to be sextiling Neptune, which is in your 8th house of endings and beginnings. But Neptune is also the planet of dreams. It is also the planet of our fantasy life. So what is your fantasy dream life look like? This is also an area of media as well, since Neptune also deals with the media. So some of you might have certain endings and beginnings when it comes to your social media habits and patterns. But also this is endings and beginnings of what your fantasy life actually looks like, because maybe we thought it used to be all these temporary pleasures. Maybe we used to think our fantasy dream life was gaining these little temporary pleasures, but we're realizing that that never gave us long-term happiness. Long-term happiness comes from long-term goals, things that actually benefit our entire well-being of our whole life. A temporary pleasure, for example, like food, for example, like food, or like short-term like sex pleasure or anything like that, if it is a quick fix and it doesn't provide long-term success, because, you know, having a bad meal, quick pleasure, it's giving us quick boost in pleasure, but it's a detriment to our long-term, you know, physical health goals, right? So temporary pleasure can sometimes be an absolute detriment to us mentally, physically, and spiritually. If we desire real happiness, it comes from stopping the short-term pleasures and focusing on long-term pleasure. Long-term pleasure is going to be feeling really healthy and fit, reaching big goals that you have with health and fitness, reaching big long-term goals that you have in terms of your career or even your love life. Reaching those actual big goals, that's where long-term happiness comes from. But it takes effort. So a lot of us, you know, sacrifice long-term happiness for short-term happiness because it's harder to attain. But I think, Leos, you've been realizing a big lesson for the past little while, and that big lesson has been long-term happiness is where it's at. Long-term happiness is where it's at. So you are going to be finally moving towards long-term happiness and creating long-term happiness. There is going to be new goals, new routines that you're adding in your life that are going to finally benefit you in the long term and create long-term success, which is going to cause huge shifts mentally, physically, emotionally. Finally, we're getting into alignment with what our soul really craves in the long term, and this is going to cause long-term happiness. Leos, we're finally building long-term happiness, okay? So huge shifts and changes in this area. February is going to be an amazing month for finally shifting all of these old patterns in our lives and giving us the doorway to walk into our beautiful long-term happiness. You guys are finally beginning to create it, and it's going to be beautiful. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and shuffle these cards to get, you know, one card to symbolize, you know, the energy over the whole month for my beautiful Leos here. So let's see. We actually got 3 cards for you. So let's see. We have the Tower. Tower is endings and beginnings. There's going to be huge shifts. You are breaking out. There's going to be huge, like, the Tower is when we've built up something without a solid foundation. You know, we built up maybe temporary happiness, and the universe is just like, pff, end to that. There's an end to that, because we're finally realizing, and I think it's going to be more, you know, self-induced. You are deciding for yourself to end these old habits and things. We also have the Knight of Wands coming up. This is an amazing card for moving energy forward. And look at that lightning bolt coming down. Look at the inspiration. That lightning bolt strikes down our old habits and routines, our old tower, our old, you know, system. And you are shooting for a brand new you, a brand new system, a brand new routine. Some of you might be interested in moving, just because the Knight of Wands also does resemble that. Or that could be just moving certain aspects of your life, right? Then we also have the Moon, which has been coming up for almost everybody lately. So the Moon is when we don't know the entire path yet, but we know that we want to get from point A to point B. But we just need to begin moving in that direction, because the Moon is the unknown. We're stepping into the unknown. Leo, you're stepping into the unknown. You're stepping into goals and dreams that maybe we haven't stepped into before, but we're finally like, I desire it so much at this point, and you're realizing the impact and the power that it's going to have on your life in order to move into this new direction. This is going to start having huge shifts in your life. The Moon, in aspect to all these cards that we just got, this is going to shift your life in ways that are so unexpected and unpredictable, but they're going to be amazing changes. The fact that we have the Tower, this is going to cause a lot of certain things to, you know, end in your life, but they're things that no longer serve you. This is going to be a very positive thing, so don't think it's going to be bad. It's going to be a very positive thing, and it's going to open up the doorway for you to move into an entirely new future. To make all those changes that you've been needing to make for the past little while are finally going to begin happening, and it is going to be beautiful and amazing. So that is what we have for you, my beautiful Leos, for the month of February. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you desire to see more videos like this in the future. I'd love to see you there, and hopefully I do. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. Bye! Hello my Virgos, and welcome to your part of the video. So in the beginning of February of 2022, we have Venus trine Uranus. Venus is in your 5th house in the sign of Capricorn, and Uranus is transiting your 9th house in the sign of Taurus. So with this beautiful trine, trines are where we strengthen something. Trines are a beautiful, strong aspect to another planet. So with Venus trine Uranus, it is time for you to start having fun again. Venus is in your 5th house. So Venus is nurturing. You need to begin nurturing yourself. The 5th house is all about you. This is about your personal fun, your dating life, how you enjoy yourself, what you enjoy doing, your hobbies. Like, this is all about you. How do you have fun? Venus is how you nurture yourself. So what are your goals in terms of what you want to do in your life? I feel like in February, a big focus for Virgos is asking yourself, what do I enjoy doing? How can I implement more of that into my life? How can I start doing that more? And with this beautiful trine to Uranus in your 9th house, this is calling you to make, you know, strong changes in your lifestyle. Your lifestyle has been changing a lot over the past couple years, my beautiful Virgos, because Uranus has been transiting your 9th house for a little bit now. So there's been huge lifestyle changes for you. There's been huge changes in terms of your philosophy on life and how you view life. right? So with this beautiful trine happening with Venus, this is now time for you to start implementing ways of having fun, because maybe we've been a little bit lost. Maybe we've been going through, you know, major transformations with our lifestyle, and our old ways of having fun just don't really fit in anymore. You know, maybe we've just outgrown certain things and we've, you know, developed into a new version of us. And, you know, Virgos, they're very much about, you know, being productive, being the best that they can be. But sometimes we also just need to let loose and have fun, because Virgo also has that side that needs to be nurtured, and a lot of times that side isn't very seen of Virgo. Virgo's very seen as like the perfectionist, the person that needs to be perfect, but the 5th house is all about having fun. So with Venus being in your 5th house, now it's time to look at like, how can I just let loose and have fun? How can I be less strict on myself and just, you know, be a little bit messy sometimes and just enjoy myself? And maybe we can just enjoy ourselves in a not messy way. That way we don't stress ourselves out, right? Because Virgos, I know you like things to be in order. You like to have things in order, but Venus is really calling you right now to have more fun in your life. So February is calling in, you know, the focus to be towards enjoyment. And this way you can begin to get more zest out of life once again. Okay, so it's also time to start strengthening new lifestyles with, you know, Uranus being in your 9th house. New lifestyles. It's time to really start to strengthen a new lifestyle and to implement that. This can also be a great time for new fun ideas and surprises to come. So Venus trining Uranus, this can be a great time for like surprises coming in. So watch out for different random unexpected surprises coming in the month of February. We do also have Mars in the 5th house, which is sextiling Jupiter in your 7th house. So this is taking action towards creating more balance in your life, because we have to have a good balance between, yes, we need to get stuff done and we need to be productive, but we also need to have a good balance between, I also need to let loose and have fun. This is also about your mindset too, since since Virgo is very much ruled by Mercury. So this is, you know, sometimes we're in our head a lot. Sometimes Virgos can get very much in their own head. And sometimes we think like, oh, we have to be constantly focusing on this and this and this and this and this, because if I don't focus on it, it means that I'm falling off track, or it means that I'm not going to make it, or it means like da 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 da. And so sometimes we can get so in our head, so focused on what needs to get done, what we need to focus on, all the stressors in life. But when we don't have a balance between focusing on what we need to focus on versus also focusing on our well-being, which is also a need, by the way. We need to balance out both of these. We need to balance out fun and laughter and enjoyment with the seriousness of life. We can't just focus on the seriousness, otherwise we are diminishing our energy, because the things that build our energy are the fun, enjoyment, loving things of life. But if we spend 100% of our energy or most of our energy upon the stressors of life, and we don't have that perfect balance, you know, we don't have a good balance, we're no longer going to be replenishing our energy. We're just draining our energy to the point where we feel beaten up. We feel like we have no energy to do anything, you know, all that kind of stuff. So we need to have a balance. So February for the month of Virgos is going to be all about finally taking action towards finding balance and also creating a new lifestyle for yourself. So what is this new lifestyle that Virgo wants to create? What do you want to create in your life, my beautiful Virgos? What do you want your life to look like? Because now is the time to start taking action towards that, having fun in general, finding more fun. You know, you have so many planets moving through your 5th house in the month of February. You have so many planets here, and also tons of planets in your 6th house as well. So new routines that can offer you more fun. Also, sorry. I actually got a text from one of my Virgo friends while we're literally on the sign of Virgo right now. That's really funny. But anyway, on the 10th of the month, we have Mercury conjunct Pluto. Mercury's been doing a little bit of a dance with Pluto over the past month as it went retrograde over this area. Now it's going to be going direct and then reconjuncting with Pluto once again. Pluto has been in your 5th house again, of the house about having fun, about focusing on you. This is also the house of focusing on children too. So if you guys are, you know, at that age where you have children, this could also be calling you to, you know, focus on children and some lessons around kids. But if not, if you don't have children yet, this is about focusing on you, and this is about focusing on your fun. Also, if you are a parent, it's about balancing out both of them. But the conjunction that we're having with Mercury and Pluto, so Pluto is challenging you to figure out what you love to do, and also challenging you to realize there's certain things that you've outgrown. There are certain ways of being that you've outgrown that are no longer serving you. They're no longer working for you. Maybe they just don't fit into life anymore, and we need to figure out new things, new ways of enjoyment and having fun. So this is about you also coming into the spotlight more, how to raise your confidence, because the 5th house is also about this, you being in the spotlight, your confidence, your zest. Where is your aliveness coming from? This is the sun of the chart. Like, this is the sun area. Where are you going to shine? Where are you going to be the most vibrant? So what makes you the most vibrant, Virgo? February is going to be about bringing out your vibrancy, bringing out your light once again by finding what strengthens it and what diminishes it, because it's time for us to end doing the things and focusing on, you know, the mindsets that limit us. Mercury is about your mindsets, and Mercury is going to be the one that's conjuncting Pluto. So what mindsets, what belief systems do you have that diminish your light, that diminish your ability to be who you want to be? And what revitalizes that? What are the things that cause you to feel so uplifted and confident and loving and zestful and lively? What makes you feel that? Because February is the month of now beginning that and ending anything else that restricted that. Okay, then by the end of the month, by the 23rd, we're going to have Mars and Venus conjunct in your 5th house, while also sextiling Neptune, which is going to be in your 7th house. So this is about starting to put yourself first. And what is your dream life? How can we balance out relationships versus personal life? Are we focusing too much on other people? Are we focusing too much on clients? Are we focusing too much on our partner? Are we focusing too much on our other people that are in our lives rather than focusing on ourselves? So how can we balance out the beautiful balance and nurturing between, you know, focusing on our, you know, business, our clients, our customers, or things like that? How can we, you know, focus on them, but then also focus on ourselves, and also have a balance between our partner and our this and our that and our everything? How can we have this balance? Because if we're giving too much of our energy away, which Virgo is notorious for wanting to focus on improving other people or improving in their work or improving, you know, external aspects. But how can you focus on improving yourself right now? Because there needs to be a balance, and February is the month of figuring that out, of marrying that, having the perfect balance between nurturing and action and yourself and others. What is that balance? And how can you feed yourself? Because how can we give to other people when we have not yet filled our own cup? We have no energy left over to even give to other people. This causes friction and disharmony. So this is about getting back into balance in the month of February and finding this balance, finding your light once again, finding what lights you up, Virgo. The month of February, what lights you up? Once you find this, you are going to find so much more balance in your life. Life is going to flow so much easier. The month of February is going to be moving forward so much better as you begin to focus more on yourself and your fun and your light. So with that being said, let's go ahead and shuffle these cards to get an overall card to depict the energy of the month of February for you. So let's see, my Virgos, what is the card that shows the overall energy for Virgos in the month of February? We have the 8 of Wands. It is time to move things forward. What direction do you want to go in? What do you want to focus on? Where do you want to put your energy? This is also new communication coming in. This is new opportunities coming in. This could also be new opportunities for travel as well for some of you, just because this card can deal with travel. Sorry, I keep like almost hiccuping. But I need to drink some water. But what do you desire to focus on and aim towards? Because it is time to start aiming yourself in the direction that you desire to go in. Again, this can also be incoming communication from like unexpected phone calls and things like that. This can also be unexpected action, so finally taking inspired action towards, you know, what you desire. But the universe right now in the month of February is really calling you to start realizing where you're putting your energy, because wherever you put your energy is what grows. If we focus on the negativity, if we focus on what we don't want to do, we grow that. Whatever we focus on, that is what our mind will begin to adjust to, and our subconscious will begin to go in that direction, whether we realize it or not. Your mind doesn't focus on whether you want something or not. Whatever you focus on is where your energy goes. Your mind doesn't go, oh, I don't want that, therefore I shouldn't do it. If you focus on it, you'll find yourself going in that direction. If you focus on positivity, your mind is going to go in that direction. So what direction are you going in? Where are you spending your energy? Where you're spending your mental states? Are you spending your mental states on that of what you don't want? Because the more we spend our time there, that's almost like, you know, going to a place that you hate, but you're constantly going there, even though you hate it. It's the same thing in your mind. If you focus on that of what you don't want, it's like getting into a car and driving to a dumpster or a dumping ground. What are they called? A dump. Literally, they're called a dump. It's like getting in your car and going to a dump and just sitting there and being like, that's how I spend my day. And then driving home at the end, going to bed, then waking up and doing the same thing. What do you desire to do? What do you desire to focus on? Because whatever you focus on, it's like getting into your car and driving there. So if you desire to focus on the positivity, if you desire to focus on the amazingness, that is where you're going to be driving. It's like getting in your car and driving to a beautiful tropical vacation. You're like, oh, it's beautiful here. Wherever you decide to put yourself mentally is where you are mentally. So if you put yourself into an amazing space mentally, that is where you're going to be. Then every action that you take is going to be in alignment with that. Every thought that you have after that is going to be in alignment with that. And you're going to start to flow your thoughts towards what you want. The more you think about what you want and you actually believe that you can have it, your mind is going to start thinking about and moving in that direction. And as your mind moves more in that direction, it's going to start thinking of new actions to take, and those new actions are going to lead you to new outcomes, and it's going to adjust your path towards attaining what you actually desire and what you actually want. So that is what we have there for your month of February, my beautiful Virgos. This is going to be a huge transformative month about finding more out about who you are and how you've changed, and you know, who you are becoming, and stepping into that potential, stepping into this new version of you, because now I have to, you know, start from scratch and kind of figure out, okay, who am I? What do I enjoy doing? And as you figure that out, beautiful new opportunities are going to begin to arise in your life, my beautiful Virgos. So that is what we have here for you. And I also want to say that as you begin to change your mindset, the Eight of Wands also goes to show that your direction will be shifting in that direction as well, and new doorways are going to start to open for you to actually cultivate and utilize that area much more in your life. So positivity is coming in. So that's what we have here for you, my beautiful Virgos. If you enjoyed this reading and this horoscope, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see videos like this in the future, and I really hope to see you there, and I hope I do, and if so, I'll see you in my next one. Bye! Alright, so Libra, here is your horoscope for the month of February of 2022. So we start off the month with Venus trine Uranus. Venus is in the sign of Capricorn in your 4th house. Uranus is transiting your 8th house in the sign of Taurus. So with this trine happening, there's also a little fly or gnat in here. Ignore that. Alright, so Venus in your 4th house is calling you to create more stability and a more solid foundation. As it's trining Uranus, and Uranus has been in your 8th house, Uranus transiting the 8th is like unexpected endings and beginnings in your life. And so with unexpected endings and beginnings, I feel like you, Libra, have been desiring more stability in your life, more surety, more security. And so with Venus transiting your 4th house, this is now calling you to start investing into your future. How can we invest into the long term? How can we create more of a nurturing environment to where we feel like we are nurturing our home life, where we're nurturing our stability and our foundation, and we can create something solid and good that we can trust, right? So This can also be about transforming your home life as well. So for some of you, this can also be home renovations. This can also be, you know, finally figuring out what you desire to do around your home and where you desire to be and what that looks like. So with this beautiful trine, trines are strengthening. So now it's strengthening the aspect between, you know, Venus and Uranus in the beginning of the month, which is unexpected new ideas around your home life and, you know, figuring out how we can make something that's more solid and more sure and more secure. We're also going to have Mars that's going to be sextiling Jupiter. Mars is in the 4th house as well, and then Jupiter is going to be in the 6th house. So this is also about creating new habits and routines around your home life or even around your health as well. So this is going to start focusing a little bit more on your health with Jupiter being in the 6th house, because I think you, Libra, are going to start desiring, like, how can I expand myself in terms of your routine, to have a routine that fits you a lot better, so we don't feel like things are super chaotic, and also we feel like we can, you know, focus on the things that we want to focus on and actually get them done. How can we expand more in our career life? Because I think you, Libra, have been desiring to expand more in your career with Jupiter being in the 6th house, because Jupiter is all about expansion, and being in the sign of Pisces, we've been sort of dreaming about what do we desire to do and how can we expand more? How can we create more abundance? How can we create a better routine that actually really works for us? And how can we implement, you know, a new kind of lifestyle that supports the future that we want? So Mars, which is the action planet, it's a very masculine action planet, being in your 4th house, how can we take action towards creating a more solid foundation so that we can get to our biggest goals and dreams? You know, this is that sextile between Mars and Jupiter. How can we take action towards creating, you know, our bigger dream? What routines do we need to implement into our life that make it possible for us to reach our biggest goals? Because we're realizing that without routine, without a solid plan, without us sticking to a solid plan, nothing changes. Nothing is going to get done. And Libra, this is all about decision too. Your whole sign is about decision. So if you decide to stick to something, that's the direction we got to go in. You know, we can't flop back and forth, right? The scales. We don't want to flop back and forth all the time, like, oh, let's do it today, oh, let's not do it today. Let's do it today, let's not do it today. Libra, it is time to stick to a plan. Mars being in your 4th house, if you want a solid foundation, if you want something that lasts, if you want a sense of security about your future, you need to create a solid routine. And that's what's going to be happening. You know, in the beginning of February, you're going to be realizing that, hey, Jupiter 6th house, it is time to create a solid routine. If we want to create the long-lasting foundation, we need to take action. We need to actually take action upon this routine. We need to actually decide and actually move forward. It can't just be a thought. It needs to be an action. So it is time to finally take action in your home life, around your health, around your routine, to actually create the dream life that you desire, in order to create the foundation to solidify the vision of your future. Okay, so we also, on the 10th of the month, are going to have Pluto and Mercury conjunct. They've been doing a little bit of a dance because Mercury went retrograde over this area and went retrograde over top of Pluto, and now is coming back to Pluto once again. And this is going to be happening in your 4th house. So this can be major changes around your home life, with endings of old routines around your home life, ending old things around your home life, and also beginning new things, realizing that there's certain unhealthy things around our foundation, around our maybe home life, or sort of around our sense of security, and we're realizing, like, hey, I need to act, you know, be proactive and make some shifts here, if I want to ensure the future that I desire. So this all happening in the 4th house in the sign of Capricorn, it's realizing that, hey, we need to dedicate. We need to dedicate to a certain future if we're going to have that last. Okay, so what is no longer serving you? What are some certain things around your security, your foundation and stuff that no longer serves you, that's not working for you? What around your home life is no longer working for you? It is time to lay your foot down Make a decision and stick to it. February is calling you to stick to it. So this is also helping you make the little shifts that you need in order to secure yourself, because Mercury is about our mental state, our mind, making decisions and going in a new direction. So what little changes can you make right now? Because we don't have to start off big, we can start off small. So what little changes can you start to implement in your life that are going to secure a solid foundation for your future? Because Libra, this is what is going to be happening. These are the transits that are happening. It is calling you to end old habits and routines and implement new ones. And really, like, write it out, because it's going to help a lot. Like, write it out. One of the things that I keep hearing in my mind is take a pen and paper and write it out. Write out your new routine. So think about what you want to do, like your goal. Think about your dream life. Write it out. I also have a whole course on this if any of you are interested. I'm not saying you have to buy it. I'm also giving you free information of what you can do right here, but I do also have a course about manifesting your dream life that I do think would be really helpful. I'll have it linked down below in the description box. But again, also what you can do if you don't want to buy that is write down what you desire to manifest in your life, and then think about your schedule and your routine in your life, and how can you start to take action towards that every day? How can you rebuild your routine to get to your goal, to get to your destination, to ensure that solid foundation? Because the fourth house is all about solid foundation, and you have a lot happening in your fourth house. Tons happening in your fourth house in the month of February. So this is calling you to solidify your foundation. Okay, so yeah, Uranus also, Mars trining Uranus is also taking action to create more solidity and focusing on your foundation, and then Mercury and Pluto, this is eradicating the old habits that we keep doing out of habit that have not been serving your long-term future or your foundation. So now it's time to think about your long-term future and your foundation, and end the old little habits that we keep doing that are actually, you know, holding us back rather than allowing us to move forward. Okay, so then also on the 13th of the month, we have Jupiter, which is going to be sextiling Uranus, and Jupiter's in your 6th house, Uranus is in your 8th house. This is going to be ending old habits that keep you stuck. The 6th house is our habits and routines, and Jupiter wants to expand. So there's this desire right now to expand. And Uranus is in the 8th house of endings and beginnings. So there is certain habits that are keeping you just stuck in the same old life. And if you want to shift your life, we need new habits and new routines. We need to create that solid foundation, because you cannot build a house on an unsolid, floppy foundation. We cannot build a new house in a space where a house already exists. We need to demolish the old house first. Lay out a new foundation, because again, if we want our house to look different, we need to lay out a new foundation. Otherwise, we're just going to be building the same house again. So lay out a new foundation for yourself. Destroy the old, lay out a new foundation, build the new. Okay, I highly recommend all of my Libras read Atomic Habits by James Clear if you want to create new habits in your life, because you have a lot here talking about new routines and habits, and I just highly recommend that book. I'm only halfway done reading it, and I've already like transformed so much of my life so far by reading that book. So it's just a little recommendation. Also on the 23rd of the month, we're going to have Venus and Mars conjunct while also sextiling Neptune. Venus and Mars are conjunct, of course, in the 4th house, and then it's going to be sextiling Neptune in the 6th house. So what are your dreams and goals? And again, this is talking about what habits can you implement and take action towards. What can you nurture right now? Venus conjunct Mars. Venus is what can you nurture. Mars is what can you take action on. So what can we nurture and take action on that sextiles Neptune, which is your dream fantasy life? What can you nurture and take action on that leads you and builds your fantasy dream life? So that is what is going to be happening in February. All these beautiful transits, all about re-evaluating your lifestyle, re-evaluating your habits and routines in order to create ones that actually take you to your dream life, building the proper habits and routines that actually bring you and build the foundation of the future that you desire, rather than the future that you you know, don't want, or, you know, continually to build the same life over and over again. If you're realizing that you've been stuck in the same place for a long time, it is because you need to build new habits and routines to build a new life. If we don't build that and we just keep hoping that change comes to us, change does not come to us. We first need to change in order to bring out a new path and a new opportunity and open up a new door. Doors don't just show up in front of your face. We know this. Okay, so here's a good example. Doors do not show up in front of your face. We need to take new action in order to get to a new door. So new habits and routines are what cause us to take new action to then find new doors. And I'm also shuffling these cards because I want to get a one tarot card to like give us the overall encompassing energy of the month of February for you, Libra. Just so you know that this is going to be a big transformative month, but Spirit is really calling you to focus on creating those new routines and new habits and new rituals. And it can even be in what you eat as well, since the 4th house is associated with Cancer, and that is also the stomach. So since we have a lot of 4th house stuff, this can also be talking about what you consume. So what have you been eating? Has it been healthy? Have you been actually nurturing yourself, especially since Venus has been in the 4th house? How have you been taking care of yourself? Because it is time to begin to take care of yourself and only consume things that are for your benefit. Okay? So with that being said, we are going to now get some cards, which we just did. So we got 3 of them. We have the 3 of Swords being reversed. So this is also a time of healing. So when the 3 of Swords is reversed, that's a great card to have reversed for one, because that means that certain things that have been once hurting us are now falling to the wayside. They're now falling out of our lives. So you might notice that certain things are being healed in the month of February, and it's finally time to let go. A huge message in this card is it's finally time to let go of the past. If you're still living in hurt from the past, you're still recreating the past. Because as long as we hold on to that emotion, we continue to bring out that emotion. It continues to get triggered within us. Therefore, we continue to experience it in our future and in our external world. So Spirit is also calling you to start letting go of some sort of hurt. We also do have the 2 of Swords here. So it's also time to look at life and look at the truth of life. This is calling you to take a real look at your life, to be really open and see your life as it really is, see where you desire to go. Also, another interesting thing that I'm seeing right here is these cards are very similar in their imagery, and they're almost the opposite. So it is time for you to flip around victimhood is something that I'm hearing while I'm looking at this. It is time to let go of victimhood. If we stay a victim, we are giving our power out to an external force and saying that we cannot be something and we have not become something because of something out there. When we do that, we give our power away to that something that's out there. And when we do that, we also, in turn, that means that we can't do anything about it unless that particular thing changes or unless that particular thing didn't happen. You are saying that it's out of your control. You can take back your control and end victimhood by saying, I get to decide who I am and what I choose to do in this moment, regardless of my external circumstances, regardless of my past. I can choose to change and be somebody different in this moment. I can choose to live life differently and see it differently in this moment. And as you do that, if you do that flip, if you go from victimhood to self-empowerment, which is also taking responsibility as well, which is something that's hard to do. I get it, I've been there, but once we do that, we take back our power and we say, hey, I am in control in this moment and I can change my life however I want to now. It doesn't matter what happened in the past, it matters who I am right now, and it matters what I choose to do right now. Because you can change your entire life. You don't have to stay stuck. The next card that we have is the Queen of Pentacles. You can solidify, you can become anything. What the universe wants you to know in the month of February, you can become anything. You can flip anything around. You can change any circumstance in your life. The main message here is you, Libra, can change any circumstance in your life to become anything that you desire. You can shift your direction completely and become anybody that you desire. So who do you desire to be? What do you desire your life to look like? You can be that. You have all of that potential within you. It depends on where you take your perspective and what you give your power to. Are you giving your power away to an external force? Are you saying, I can't do something until this happens, or I can't do something because this already happened? If you are doing that, take back your power and take back responsibility. And then you have the power to change it. You have the power to be somebody new and to make changes in your life and to build a solid version of you that has and can be and can do anything that you desire. So that is what we have there for you, my beautiful Libras. I hope that message helped. That was your horoscope for the month of February, so I hope you enjoyed it. Again, you have the power to do and be anything. The main message here that Spirit wants you to know is, you know, remake your routine and your foundation, because you can have and be and do anything that you desire, and the universe wants you to remember that, and the universe wants you to take your power back to actually become the best version of you and to become your dream self. So that is what we have here for you. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, if you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below if you want to see videos like this in the future, and I really hope to see you there, and I'll see you hopefully in my next one. Bye! Alright, I had to put my hair up for the rest of this video because it's time to get cozy. It is getting late in the day. But Scorpios, my beautiful Scorpios, here is your February 2022 month ahead prediction. So we're starting off the month with Venus being in your 3rd house in the sign of Capricorn, trining Uranus in your 7th house in the sign of Taurus. So Venus in the 3rd house, Venus is all about nurturing. Being in the 3rd house, it is time to focus on nurturing your mind, nurturing your mentality. Like, who are the people? One of the questions when Venus is in your 3rd house, trining Uranus in the 7th, who are the people that you're surrounding yourself by? And do they uplift you? Do they promote a healthy mindset? Or do they, you know, diminish your mindset? Do they, you know, drag you down? Do they weigh you down? Okay, so Scorpio, February is the month to finally start to focus on your mental state and only surrounding yourself by things that are, you know, serving your mental state, that are serving you and helping make you feel good, rather than dragging you down, rather than weighing you down. Whenever you spend your time doing something, is it beneficial for your long-term, you know, mental state, or is it diminishing your long-term mental happiness? With Uranus being in the 7th house, we need to find balance now. Now's a time for finding balance. So whenever you find yourself, you know, needing to get certain things done, how can we do them in ways that can also uplift us, that also make us feel good, that help us feel good? So now's a time of like learning, what is it that, you know, uplifts me? What are the things that make me feel really good, especially in the long term? Because there's certain things that make us feel good in the short term. For example, you know, drinking or, you know, getting high or something like that might make you feel good in the short term. But then, you know, the next day after drinking, we feel hungover, we feel drained, we feel like crap. And so that's one of the examples. Or like, you know, eating bad food. It might feel good in the moment, it curbs our craving in the moment, but then we feel like crap after. And then also afterwards, it's, you know, a detriment to our health. So it's diminishing us in many ways. So Scorpio, now it's time to start asking yourself, what are the things that are not nurturing you? What are the things that are more of a detriment to you than an actual long-term benefit? Now it's time to sort through that and start to focus on what those things are. Also, Venus in the 3rd house can also be a time when we're finally, you know, thinking about new hobbies, and it can be a time where we find new new topics of interest, new things that we get excited about researching and learning. The third house is all about reading, learning, discovering new things. And so Scorpio, you might have a very curious month. We have a lot happening in your third house in the month of February. So this can end up being a very curious month for you, where we start to wonder a lot. There's a lot of questions in our mind. There's a lot of new interests. A lot of things seem intriguing, but it is also a time when we're starting to go internal and figure out, okay, how does my mind really work? What does my mind really like? Short term versus long term? That's going to be a big question. Okay, Uranus is causing a lot of shifts, especially in the 7th house. This is shifting. You know, maybe we used to find balance this way, but now we're realizing that we're finding balance in whole new ways. So we're noticing lots of shifts in our personal lives. The 7th house also deals with our interpersonal relationships. So your friendships, who are we spending our time with mostly? And starting to ask yourself how we want to spend this time. What do we want to nurture? What is the most important to us versus what is not so important? What can we, you know, put as a priority versus not a priority anymore? Okay, next we also have Mars being in the 3rd house, and it will be sextiling Jupiter in your 5th house. Jupiter in the 5th is about how we can expand into more fun. So this could be having a new hobby, especially with Mars being in the 3rd house. There could be a new interest here, and maybe we're expanding our ways of like how we can have fun and how we can show up, how we feel really good, because Jupiter is all about expansion. Jupiter is about our lifestyle and what we are striving towards and how we're growing. And Jupiter being in your 5th house right now, transiting your 5th house in the sign of Pisces, the 5th house is all about having fun. The 5th house is all about enjoyment, the activities that we do in our life. And Pisces is all about our mindsets, our mental health. It can be about the spiritual world. So wanting to, you know, expand more, expand your curiosity more, have more fun, have more hobbies. There's more interests here and things like that. So I definitely see Scorpio having tons more things that they're interested in the month of February, while also having big epiphanies and realizations about their mentality. We also are going to have a Mars trining Uranus as well, and that's going to happen around February 7th. And this is happening in your 3rd and 7th house. So this is going to be solidifying your new ideas. This is going to be expanding your mind. This could also be unexpected news coming in too, just because the 3rd house is Gemini. It kind of rules information coming in, and with this trine to Uranus, it can be unexpected good news coming in. This could also be just information, or this could also be a way that you unlock a new interest too, because there could be like somehow new information coming in. It could come in from an unexpected source, like social media, online, through another person, whatever the case may be, but it's somehow going to unlock a new interest as it makes this trine over to Uranus. So yeah, there's definitely going to be new unexpected sort of things popping up in your life that are going to be of interest to you. Also on the 10th of February, we're going to have Mercury conjunct Pluto. It's been doing a little bit of a dance with Pluto as Mercury went retrograde over this area, and now it is going direct, and it's going to reconjunct with Pluto on the 10th of February. This is going to be altering and changing the way that you think or communicate, because it's happening in your 3rd house. So this is also changing the short interests that you have, the small little interests that you might have. This can also be changing your friend groups as well, because the 3rd house can also rule over our friends. And so realizing, okay, who are my real friends and who are not my real friends? Who do I want to surround myself by, and who do I not want to surround myself by anymore? So it's realizing, you know, the contrast between these two areas. Which friends uplift you? What interests uplift you? What hobbies uplift you? What mental states, what thinking patterns do you have that serve you and uplift you versus what doesn't? So Pluto is the planet of endings and beginnings. So now we're finally ending ties to the things that don't serve us. We're finally ending mindsets that no longer serve us, that limit us rather than uplift us and push us in the positive direction. We're finally realizing the things that are weighing us down versus the things that are pulling us in a positive, uplifting, exciting, motivating direction. So with this transit happening on the 10th, this is really going to help you realize these certain things so that you can begin making changes in your life that go accordingly. So it's going to be a great time of, again, ending the limiting things that are no longer serving you. Also on the 13th of the month, we are going to have Jupiter sextile Uranus. Jupiter's in your 5th house again, and Uranus is in your 7th. And this is going to help you start to balance out your physical world a little bit more as well, and balance out your sort of lifestyle around having fun versus also, you know, balancing out the time that we spend in our relationships or the other balances that we have in our life. Like, how can we find more balance and more practicality in our life while also expanding more? How can we, you know, make a practical solution that we can expand more in the directions that we desire to grow in, you know, rather than feeling like we're not making any progress. Now, finally, there's a desire for more progress and more expansion in your life. And I definitely see a new hobby or interest because, again, on the 23rd of the month, we have Venus and Mars that are going to be conjunct in the 3rd house while making a sextile over to Neptune, which is going to be in your 5th house. I really see like a new hobby kind of being birthed here, especially with Neptune also in the 5th house. This is sort of like, what really do you find fun? What's really exciting for you? And what does your fantasy sort of dream life look like? Because Neptune is all about our fantasy dream life. The 5th house is all about how we have fun and how we find enjoyment. And so with Venus and Mars here in the 3rd house, this is sort of finding new hobbies and new interests that help you grow towards a new sort of life that you are beginning to build for yourself, a new vision that you have for yourself, because Neptune's very visionary. It also rules the media and the arts just because it's very visionary. So what do you desire to do? What do you desire to grow in your life? What are these new hobbies that you desire to, you know, transform to make your life a bit more fun and exciting, and to be motivated by life, you know, rather than feeling like you're just going with the flow of life? How can we just feel like we're actually making the life of our dreams? So with that being said, let's pull a card here to get this sort of over-encompassing energy of the month of February for Scorpio. Let's see what we get here. All right, let's see. We have the 5 of Cups and also the Knight of Cups. Okay, so yeah, there's definitely things that we need to leave behind. So the 5 of Cups, what is no longer working for you? What is no longer inspiring for you? Because instead of focusing our energy, first we need to sort of figure out what they are, but then instead of focusing our energy towards those things and thinking about, oh, why isn't this working out anymore? How can I find fulfillment in these areas once again? Like, how can I reinvigorate these areas of my life? Well, you don't reinvigorate them by trying to revive something that died, right? We can't revive something that died. So if there's areas of your life that are no longer working for you, that feel empty, and we keep trying to go back to them, trying to revitalize them, that doesn't work. We can't bring back the dead, right? And so this means that there's certain aspects of your life that you've outgrown. There's certain, you know, old habits, routines, hobbies, things, people even, that maybe we've outgrown, that we no longer resonate with, that we no longer feel fulfillment out of, but we keep trying to revitalize it. Those things don't get revitalized. It is time for you to build new things in your life, new things that are revitalizing to you, because that is where you're going to find fulfillment. So now it's time to turn the page. It is time to end those old chapters and turn the page and create new things and discover. And this is why I think you're probably going to be discovering lots of new hobbies in the month of February and lots of new interests, is because we're finally realizing, like, hey, the old things aren't really working for me anymore. It's time to sort of, you know, look into a new direction. And so Scorpio, you're shifting your direction right now. You're guiding your energy somewhere new. And then we also have the Knight of Cups, and look at this new, like, spark that's coming into your cup. There's definitely going to be new hobbies and new sparks that are making you feel alive once again. So get prepared for the month of February, because we're finally discovering, okay, like, yeah, these things aren't really working out for me anymore. It's time to sort of end those things and finally start to, you know, focus on and discover and try new things. Because as you begin to try new things, you're going to realize what lights you up, what ignites your cup. And as you discover that, you're going to be building this new you, and this new you is going to be able to expand further, because now we're sort of, you know, opening up a new chapter that we get to explore more, rather than trying to, you know, find more words on a chapter that's already ended and we're trying to seek for more words. It's like, no, we have to close that chapter, turn the page, and open up a new chapter so we can expand into that chapter, okay? So that is what's going to be happening in the month of February for my beautiful Scorpios. I hope you enjoyed this reading, this little horoscope. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see videos like this in the future, because I'd love to see you there as well. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye! Alright, so my Sagittarius, welcome to your part of the February 2022 little horoscope that we have going on. So we start off February with Venus trining Uranus. Venus is in your second house in the sign of Capricorn, while Uranus is in your sixth house in the sign of Taurus. So this is going to bring about maybe new ideas around making money. Like, what are some new ideas that you have? This can also be new ideas around routines as well, since the sixth house also does deal with routines. Venus is what we nurture though. Venus is the planet of nurturing, and in the second house there's this desire to maybe nurture our finances, nurture our comforts as well, because the second house is also about comfort. The second house is also about food as well. Since it is Taurus. And so this can also be, what are we eating? What are we feeding ourselves? What are we fueling ourselves with? Are we nurturing ourselves properly so that we can have the best energy possible to move forward in whatever our projects are and whatever our big goals are? Okay, so this is a big focus on health, what we're doing in terms of our health, our fitness, things like that. And also, again, I'm seeing this new ways of making money sort of theme happening here with Venus being in the second house. So nurturing these new sort of inspirations, these new ideas around our work and around maybe making money and how we can maybe make more, how we can create more for ourselves. So I definitely see this happening over here. We also do have Mars in your second house, which is going to be sextiling Jupiter, which is in your fourth house. So this can be new investments, desiring to take action upon new investments. This can also be redecorating or renovating, or feeling like you want to, you know, create a new kind of foundation for yourself. This is sort of taking action around your home life. So your home life can be your foundation, your security, wanting to take action towards expanding your, you know, security net, your security blanket, wanting to expand the amount of finances that you have in the bank so that you feel more safe and secure. This can be wanting to invest more into yourself, into your business, into your home life, into, again, that security blanket, that security net that we have. So there's definitely going to be action that you're taking towards this during the month of February, especially in the beginning of February. I definitely see you taking action towards wanting to save more, wanting to build more of a safety net, more of a security net for yourself. We do also have Mars that's going to be trining Uranus, and again, Uranus is in your sixth house, Mars is in your second. This is going to be a time to focus on your work, time to take action towards making shifts or changes in your work life. So maybe we're changing around our timing, our schedule. Maybe we're wanting to change around our financial habits even. Maybe some of us are wanting to make more opportunities for ourselves to make more money. Maybe we're thinking about adding a side job. Maybe we're thinking about, you know, doing something else on the side. Maybe we're thinking about how to maybe even invest in other investments, maybe investing in land as well, since we have this fourth house aspect happening as well. So are you desiring to expand yourself materially? Are you desiring to expand yourself more financially? Because in the month of February, it looks like there's going to be more opportunities and planetary transits that are calling you to focus your energy towards making a more solid, secure foundation for yourself. Because Sagittarius loves to be very expansive and a little bit more frivolous, we'll say, with money. Sagittarius can be frivolous in all aspects of life because they just like to live free. They don't like to have rules. They don't like to have, like, boundaries and things like that. Sagittarius is the most expansive of the signs. They don't like to have boundaries. So I see in the month of February, there's going to be this realization that, you know, there comes a time that, you know, we expand so much, but then we realize we do need to have a bit more of a practicality underlying our foundation. Like, we can't just build a castle into the sky without having a solid foundation. Sagittariuses are huge dreamers. They can think about the entire castle. They can build the entire castle. They have so much energy. They have so much vitality and so much inspiration, right? And so much magic towards the ability to expand. But then we kind of realize, oh, well, this castle, this beautiful sky-high castle isn't going to last really long if it's not built on a solid foundation. So the month of February is finally focusing and calling us to focus on the foundation of this beautiful castle that we're trying to build. You know, there's this desire to expand, but we do need a solid foundation here. So February is the month where we're finally realizing, okay, it's time to create more solidity in our lives, a solid routine maybe, a more solid schedule, a more solid financial plan as well. So it is calling for all of those different new inspired actions to start coming in around work. And I do see lots more inspiration coming in around work and around finances, so I don't think it's something that you have to worry about. It's just calling you to start focusing on this area to make more, you know, security in your life, more safety, more reliability, so that we don't have to stress about, you know, expanding more. So there's more expansion energy coming in, but before we can expand more, we do need to focus on the foundation that we're building. Then on the 10th of February, we are going to have Mercury conjunct Pluto. This is happening in your second house in the sign of Capricorn. So this is cleaning out the closet of maybe old possessions. Maybe some of you are desiring to get rid of a lot and to start to minimalize your life so that it can be a little bit easier, less stressful, less stuff, less burden, right? Because Sagittarius is also, since they like freedom so much, sometimes when there's a lot of clutter around, or sometimes when there's too much going on, Sagittarius can get, you know, feeling restricted because we feel like there's too much happening and we feel like it's limiting our freedom or limiting limiting our freedom, basically. It feels like there's kind of boundaries there. So I do see this sort of energy where you're going to desire to either declutter some part of your life. This could be materially, mentally, physically, spiritually. There's some sort of declutter that's happening in your life around the 10th because Mercury has been doing this little dance with Pluto for the past little while, because Mercury went retrograde and retouched over Pluto, and now since it's going direct, it's going to come back to Pluto once again. And Pluto is the planet of endings and beginnings, and being in your second house, this is about material stuff or career things. So we're ending old career stuff, ending old material stuff, and beginning new. And so mentally we're getting all these new ideas coming in, but we're realizing we cannot act on these new ideas before we end the old ideas to make room with our time, because the second house is also about time. So maybe we have these new expansive ideas, but we can't make them happen if we don't carve out the time, if we don't get rid of some of the old stuff in our daily routine to make room for this new stuff that we can then focus on and work on. So there is that happening. We do also on the 13th have Jupiter that's going to be sextiling Uranus. This is happening in your 4th and 6th house. So again, there's this big desire to expand some more and a lot of shifts around your routine. So again, this is again talking about the solidifying the idea that we need to get rid of some of the stuff in our time. We need to get rid of some of the old ways of being in order for us to move into the new, in order for us to keep expanding, because it's like you guys outgrew your fishbowl. It's kind of like you're a fish or you're a plant and you're in your, you know, pot. But we've outgrown that space, and we cannot grow more unless we upgrade our pot, unless we get rid of the old pot and make room for a new pot. So we're needing to get rid of some stuff. We're needing to get rid of some of the old in order to make room for the new in our lives so that we can continue to keep expanding. So I do see you becoming more productive as well by the end of the month as you begin to let go of the old and create this new foundation. I see a lot more productivity coming into your life. And then at the end of the month on the 23rd, we're going to have Venus conjunct Mars while also sextiling Neptune. And this is going to be happening in your 2nd and 4th house. So Venus and Mars conjunct in the 2nd. Venus is about nurturing. How are you nurturing yourself in order for you to have enough energy to move forward, which is Mars, in order for you to take action. So this is marrying your nurturing and action in terms of your physical material life. So in terms of your physical health and in terms of your finances. How do we nurture finances so we can also take action and utilize our finances? Because we cannot continue to just utilize without nurturing it, because otherwise we're not growing it back. and we're just spending too much to where we're diminishing and depleting ourselves. So we need to have a perfect balance between nurturing so that it can grow while also, you know, being able to take action and move forward and being able to expand and have fun. So there needs to be a balance here. And while it also sextiles Neptune, this is our focus upon our foundation because it's in our 4th house. This is the focus on, you know, building a solid routine or foundation for this. And also, what does your dream life look like in terms of your future goals around your home life, in terms of what you want your domestic life to look like? What is your fantasy life around what that looks like? We need to create solid nurturing and action around this area to have it come to fruition. So it is time to invest in your future and what your future dream life looks like. So that is what we have going on in the month of February. Lots of renewing and lots of moving forward. Since we do have no retrogrades, a lot of this is going to start moving forward very quickly, where you start to rebuild these new foundations, where you start to welcome in these new opportunities towards, you know, making solid foundations to make this happen, to make your dreams have a practicality of a practical foundation, so that you can build upon that, so that you can expand more. So all of this is happening for your benefit to allow you to expand more, because we cannot expand our house without creating a foundation for that expansion and then building the expansion there. Because if we build the expansion there before the foundation, the expansion is going to fall apart and we're going to need to rebuild all of that anyway. So the universe is now giving you an opportunity to make a solid foundation. I'm shuffling these so we can get some like overall tarot cards for the month, some messages from spirit. A couple of them just fell on the floor, so I am gonna go grab those before we get into it. Okay, there's actually way too many that fell, so we are going to shuffle some more and get like 1 or 2 cards to show the energy of the month for Sagittarius. So we have the King of Swords. We need to implement new mindsets. We also need to cut away certain things in our life that have been holding us back from achieving what we really desire to achieve. So there's certain maybe limiting mindsets or old actions or old things, routines maybe, that we need to cut out of our life in order to continue moving forward properly. So the King of Swords is committing yourself to a new mental state, committing yourself to a new habit, to a new commitment. This can also be viewing life a little bit differently. So having new viewpoints in life. And again, not being afraid to keep it real, not being afraid to just speak your truth, speak it how it is, say it how it is, and, you know, let it be what it is. I want to get one more card for you. I'm feeling this one right here. We have the 5 of Swords. So where are we spending our energy in not the right places? Where are we letting our energy be taken away too easily? We need to set up proper boundaries and cut away the things that are stealing our energy without providing us, you know, an equal amount in return. So there's certain things that you do need to set your foot down about and cut from your life in order to continue expanding, because there's certain things that are depleting your energy more than they're replenishing your energy. So it is time to, you know, put your foot down about certain things like that in your life so that you can cultivate the most energy and the most possibility for yourself. And that is what we have here for you, my beautiful Sagittariuses. I hope you enjoyed this horoscope in this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below if you want to see videos like this in the future. And I hope to see you there. And yeah, hope you have an amazing day. Bye. All right, so my beautiful Capricorns, welcome to your part of the zodiac sign prediction. So we start off February with Venus trine Uranus, and Venus is the planet of nurturing. It is transiting your first house right now in the sign of Capricorn. And so with Venus transiting here, this is asking you to start nurturing yourself some more. And so I feel like for you, Capricorn, there's going to be a desire to start to focus more on you, focus on nurturing yourself, focus on making yourself the best version of you. So I wouldn't be surprised if you have lots of future goals that you want to attain this year, and that you are trying to become the best version of you. You're trying to step into the best possible version of you this year. We start off again February with that Venus in Capricorn, and it is going to be trine Uranus, which is in your 5th house. So this is also about finding new ways of having fun, finding a new you, and trying out new hobbies. So I wouldn't be surprised if you also get invited to try out brand new things that you've never done before, or if you get kind of inclined with new interests in the beginning of February. Maybe you desire to explore new topics, maybe you desire to just try out new things or try out a new you. So it's kind of like you are desiring to step into a brand new version of yourself, just since we have tons going on in Capricorn right now. And during the month of February, there's going to be a lot going on in Capricorn. So this is affecting your 1st house. This is affecting your self-image, who you are at a soul level. And so a new you desires to emerge. This is almost like creating a new identity, nurturing a new identity to bubble to the surface. This is also making your life more fun, because this trine to Uranus, trines are strengthening. So we're somehow strengthening your self, that your new self that you're nurturing, that you're desiring to emerge, and you're strengthening that by focusing on what you enjoy doing and kind of changing up your routines and schedule a little bit more, because maybe we've gotten to a point where we feel like our life has gotten a bit repetitive and a little bit stagnant, and we're desiring to shift things up a little bit. We're desiring to get our feet wet in a new pond. So right now you're strengthening your new self-image by trying out new things, getting your feet wet in a new pond. And it's going to be, February is going to be a month about having fun and allowing this new self to emerge, and sort of discovering this new self by desiring to do new stuff in your routine and changing up your routine a little bit and changing up who you are. Another aspect that we have is Mars is going to be sextiling Jupiter on February 5th. This is going to be affecting your 1st house, because Mars is going to be in Capricorn in your 1st house, and then Jupiter is in Pisces in your 3rd house. And so this is a desire to learn new things and to expand, because Jupiter being in the 3rd, this is the planet of expansion, and you're trying to expand your mind. The 3rd house is your mind, your social life, learning new things, having curiosity. And so I would say that you are going to desire to learn new things or have an expanded social life. You might even get invited to different events, different things that can allow you to expand your perspective on life. They allow you to expand your curiosity, possibly your social life in new ways. And this is also breakthroughs mentally. So if you've been having certain struggles internally, mentally, this is also allowing for new breakthroughs to happen, new realizations of realizing who you are and what you desire to become, who you want to step into. That new self is really emerging with all these planets in Capricorn right now. And then they're also making beautiful aspects over to your 3rd and 5th house. And so we're expanding in ways of having fun. We're expanding our curiosity, our social life, our learning, what we desire to do. This could also be taking up a new hobby as well, since Gemini is just very curious about all sorts of things. So these are all some really beautiful transits here. On February 7th, we're going to be having Mars trining Uranus. Uranus is, of course, again in your 5th house, and with Mars making this trine, this is action towards more fun and more confidence building as well. So this is, you know, new random ways of being and realizing where we feel our most confident. Where do you feel like you shine the most? And now we're going to start taking action towards where we feel like we can shine the most. Where do we feel the most alive, right? Because the 5th house is about feeling alive, Mars is about feeling alive, and also about taking action, and it's a very masculine energy. So now you're moving towards feeling like you can allow your light to shine more, moving towards exciting new times, you know, building the future that you desire by becoming the person that makes you feel the most alive. So I feel like right now you're going through a renewal of who you are and a sort of self-development time of becoming a new you. We've also had Pluto transiting your 1st house for the past little while now, and Mercury went retrograde, and it reconjuncted Pluto, went below it, and now that Mercury is going to go direct in February, it is going to reconjunct with Pluto on February 10th. This is going to allow you to shed old ways of being and sort of really discover a hidden aspect of yourself that maybe we didn't really know about before. Because Pluto is the death and rebirth planet. So it's the death of something. So there's sort of either an ego death or a death of who you used to be, and maybe you just don't resonate with that anymore. You've been feeling like you've needed to shed old skin for a while now. The month of February is going to allow you to shed that old skin. And with Mercury reconjuncting Pluto, there's this reemergence of this new self. And not even necessarily a reemergence, but like a rebirth. So it's you finally, your real soul coming to the surface in February. So in the middle of February, I think a lot of Capricorns are going to have bigger discoveries on who they are, who they're meant to be, and have their real true self begin to emerge while shedding the old self of who you used to be. So that's going to be a beautiful time of the new you emerging. You're literally a snake shedding its skin and coming out of its cocoon as the new you, which is going to be a much more sparkly version of you, a much more vibrant version of you, because it seems like you're focusing a lot more on your mental expansion, the fun that you desire to have in your life and that you desire to experience in your life. So there's lots of great transits happening right now in the month of February for Capricorn, stepping into your new self, into the best version of you. Okay, and then on the 13th of February, we're going to have Jupiter sextile Uranus. Jupiter's in your 3rd house, Uranus is in your 5th house. So this is also about unexpected, maybe social invites, unexpected new hobbies emerging, unexpected new interests emerging, or again, just like random social activities sort of coming about into your life once again. Because Uranus is a very unexpected planet. Being in your 5th house, this is bringing out unexpected, social times, unexpected fun events, because the 5th house is also about having fun, and it is also about your confidence as well. So unexpected new scenarios where your confidence feels like it's raising and it's being boosted and things like that. It could also be, communication from somebody really starting to boost your confidence with Jupiter being in your 3rd house while sextiling this area. This can also be compliments from, other people, just random compliments that make us feel like our confidence is boosting. People communicating to us, people expressing to us more, how they feel about us and the fact that they really care about us. So it just seems like social times are, really starting to come in, and we're also getting a lot more curious about life. Near the end of the month, on the 23rd, we're going to have Venus and Mars conjunct. Venus and Mars will finally be conjunct, while also sextiling Neptune. Neptune is in your 3rd house, and Venus and Mars will be still transiting your 1st house. With this sextile, this is going to be new ways of nurturing yourself. With Neptune in your 3rd house, this can be getting inspired, learning more about who you are. So it's again, those sort of aspects. But Neptune is the planet of fantasy. Being in your 3rd house, we're starting to get new imagination or new ideas around what our fantasy life looks like, what we really want to attract in our life, who we really want to become. This could also be more focus on media as well, since Neptune is also the planet of media. So some of you might also have new ideas about how you want to approach your media, or how you present yourself to the world. This can also be about how you desire to portray your life, how you desire to live your life, because since Neptune is all about fantasy, how are we going to take action and nurture our new dreams? How are we going to implement that? How are we going to actually make a practical plan to make our new dreams a real reality? So I also think that Capricorn, you're going to be really starting to reschedule your life or replan out your life so that you can reach these new goals, because Capricorn is dedicated. Once they have a goal and they define what that goal is, they're unstoppable. They just need a goal, and then they figure out the way to get there, and they just have a linear line most of the time, as long as they know what their goal is. So Capricorn, once you figure out what your goal is, which it seems like there's going to be lots of new ideas sprouting about in the month of February, then it's going to be about rearranging your life in order to attain those goals. So all in all, it looks like it's going to be an amazing month in the month of February. Also, I want to grab some tarot cards here to get a couple cards on your life in February. All right, so Capricorns, the month of February. What is the card that represents the month of February for Capricorn? We have the Hangman. So what are certain things that just don't work out anymore? You've probably reached a point of stagnation recently where it feels like you just you cannot keep moving forward in the same way that you have anymore. It feels like you reached a stuck point, like things aren't moving the same way that they used to. And it's because the universe right now is asking you to take a shift in your life. You need to have a shift because you've reached the top peak of the current mountain. When we reach the top peak of the current mountain, there's nowhere else to climb and we're wondering, okay, why am I stuck? We're stuck because now we need to shift perspective so that we can see a new goal. Once we have a new goal, once we have a new perspective, this is going to help us continue to move forward. So the month of February for you is about shifting your perspective so that you can continue moving forward. We need to recreate a new us. We need to have a new goal that we're desiring to reach, and we need to look at our goal from a new perspective. If we shift our perspective on our goal, we'll have a new pathway to get there, because maybe we've reached a dead end on our current path and we can no longer get to our goal. We need to kind of shift off, you know, in a new way. And that way the path can continue to whatever goals that you are trying to reach. So the universe right now is asking you to have a big shift, have an internal shift and a perspective shift, and that'll help you reach your ultimate goal. So that is what we have for you in the month of February. Lots of breakthroughs mentally, breakthroughs in your self-image and who you are. And it is going to be a great month full of huge transformation for you and really figuring out who you are and what you want next in life and how to actually get there. So I'm sending you all of my love, my beautiful Capricorns. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, and I hope to see you there. Bye! Alright, so my beautiful Aquariuses, let's talk about your month of February. So we start off February with Venus trining Uranus. Venus is in your 12th house and Uranus is currently in your 4th house. So this is going to bring about new opportunities for money, new ideas in how you can expand your life or your foundations or your investments. Since Uranus is in your 4th house, the 4th house deals with our foundation, our security. It deals with investments, our home life. Uranus has been transiting here for the past little while, which this has caused a lot of shifts and changes in your home life. Lots of Aquariuses might have moved or are still planning on moving because Uranus is still in this area. With its trine that it's making though towards Venus, Venus is the planet of nurturing. It is the feminine energy. It also deals with money as well. This being in your 12th house, this is causing new ideas to sprout, new ideas around how to nurture your new way of life, how to nurture your new ideas and bring them to life. This is also about garnering new ideas, getting new ideas out of the blue. So a lot of you have been maybe thinking about ideas that are outside of the box or outside of the realm of normal, maybe ways of thinking that you have, because the 12th house is this expansion into the unknown. The 12th house is also all of the houses combined. And so with Venus being here, this is a very intense, big placement for any sort of sign to be in, is the 12th house, because the 12th house is sort of the accumulation of almost everything. So I see lots of new ideas, new ways of expansion. Also, Venus being in the 12th can bring out some sort of like mental stuff that we need to deal with as well. So this can also bring up stuff from the past that we need to deal with and that we have to nurture ourselves. So there's things that might come up mentally, right, from the past that we need to heal. And Capricorn is our boundaries. It also deals with our bones. And so one thing that you might notice is Venus being here, maybe we need to nurture ourselves so that we don't get sore as well, because Venus being in the 12th house can mean, Venus in Capricorn in the 12th house can sometimes mean that we need to focus on taking care of our body, or that we need to focus on taking care of our mind, our mental state. And maybe there's certain things from your past that might bubble up in order for you to deal with in the month of February. So this could be, again, stuff that's happened in the past that maybe we sort of brushed off. Now it is time for us to finally deal with that so that we can set a very solid foundation for ourselves for our future, so that we can have a very secure, safe future and we can continue to expand. So right now we're thinking about how can we expand our home life? How can we create a beautiful, sense of security in our life? How can we create more comfort as well in our home life? So how can we feel more comfortable? Certain things are going to start coming up that cause us to, you know, figure out these sort of hurdles so that we can create more comfort in our home life, so that we can create more comfort in our security net, our security blanket, and that we can feel more mentally stable, secure, that we can feel more nurtured. So it's focusing on nurturing, taking care of yourself, and how can we make that like long term. Also on February 5th, we're going to have Mars sextile over to Jupiter. Mars is also in your 12th house and Jupiter is in your 2nd house in the sign of Pisces. And so this is new action towards expanding your finances or expanding your mind to think about new ideas, because I think, you know, Aquarius is always looking for new ideas. Aquarius is a very curious sign that likes to think outside the box. And so with Jupiter being in your 2nd house in the sign of Pisces, this is calling you to like really start to think outside the box and how to make these outside of the box ideas more of a tangible reality. Like, how can we have more fun here and make these outside of the box random ideas a tangible reality? And Mars helps us take action towards that. So Mars being in your 12th though, this is us exploring new ideas. How can we expand our finances, our material world, our investments, the things that we own, so that we can create more abundance for ourselves? Because this is about creating more abundance, or at least a little bit more freedom as well. And a couple days later, on February 7th, Mars is going to make a trine over to Uranus. Uranus is in your 4th house again, and Mars is again in your 12th house. And so trines are about strengthening. So this is taking action towards new investments, expansion, solidifying your foundation. Whereas before we had the Venus trine over here. Venus, when it trines over here, is, you know, us nurturing these ideas and coming up with these ideas. Mars is the action, the masculine. We're finally, you know, taking action towards something. So taking action towards more expansion, more investments, or solidifying your foundation for your future. Because I think we're starting to think more about our future and realizing that maybe our home life is a little bit unpredictable right now, especially since Uranus has been here. So there might be a lot of changes that you recently went through in your home life, and your home life is still kind of going through some shifts and changes. Your career might also go through some shifts and changes since Uranus is in the sign of Taurus. So this could be causing different shifts with our money, or how money is coming in, or even how we're spending money. So there might be new and unexpected things coming up that cause us to spend our money in totally different areas than we're used to, or different things that are coming up that are shifting up, you know, the way that money is even coming in for us. And so there's been lots of changes for Aquarius over the past couple years, and it's going to continue here for the next couple of years. There's going to be even some more changes. But Mars making a trine over to this area, this is helping you solidify what action that you are going to take towards your future. You're finally coming up with the ideas in February about how you want to take action and the trajectory that you want to go in with your future in regards to your home life, or your foundation, or your finances, or your like security blanket, right? So now Aquarius is finally figuring out all of these different aspects and areas of their life. On the 10th of February, we have Mercury reconjunct Pluto. It's been doing a little bit of a dance with Pluto since we had Mercury retrograde for the past month. So it's been doing a little bit of a little dance with Pluto, and it's going to reconjunct Pluto as it goes direct after February 3rd, and it's going to reconjunct with Pluto on February 10th. So this is happening in your 12th house in the sign of Capricorn. So this is getting rid of old beliefs that no longer serve you, breaking down old walls that you had up as well, because Capricorn deals with structure, walls, things like that. And Pisces deals with stuff that we might have repressed or hidden, stuff that we don't see right on the surface. So we might be realizing that we might have old rigid beliefs that we need to break out of, or break free from, or become more relaxed with, because there might be some rigid beliefs that we have around certain things that are causing us to to kind of hit certain walls in our life that aren't allowing us to maybe expand forward. And so around the middle of February, as Mercury reconjuncts this area, we're finally now realizing where we might have certain walls that are stopping us from our expansion. So this is going to help, you know, loosen you up a little bit in order to be a bit more relaxed about life and to begin to enjoy life a little bit more and to begin to expand outside of your regular comfort zone or expand outside of your regular sort of beliefs about life or limitations or boundaries that you've had up that have maybe stopped certain things from happening or allowing certain things to take off and expand. So definitely breaking down of old belief systems, breaking down of old walls. This is also going to possibly bring up, again, some old mental stuff from the past, and this is now going to be given the opportunity to heal, and you are going to be able to rebirth new ideas, rebirth sort of a new self, a new mentality, or new belief systems as well. On February 13th, we're going to have Jupiter in Pisces in your second house make a sextile over to Uranus in Taurus in your fourth house. This can be unexpected financial expansion for some of you, or more security, feeling like we are more secure, feeling like there's somehow something divine happening in our lives in the universe that is causing us to feel more security or more materially free, or that we've expanded materially in some way. So around, again, the middle of February, there is these transits coming in that make us feel like we're somehow unexpectedly making a little bit more money, or we're expanding our security net in some way. Somehow it just feels like our abundance is increasing and it's making us feel a lot more secure and better. By the end of the month, by the end of February, we're going to have Venus and Mars conjunct in your 12th house, while also making a sextile over to Neptune, which is in Pisces in your second house. So this is now going to call out how to make your dreams a reality. So the things that you think about, the ideas that you're nurturing, because Venus in your 12th house, the goals that you're trying to nurture and think about is now going to be conjunct Venus with, you know, Mars. And this conjunction is marrying the action with the nurturing of how we can bring our ideas to life. Neptune is our fantasy, and being in our second house, we're now thinking about our material goals, our financial goals a little bit more. And so we're thinking about how can we make these dreams into a reality? How can we, you know, make this sort of future happen for us? What sort of path do we need to be on to make that happen? And we're also realizing that our mentality has a big part to play in all of this, and it is going to help us sort of start to break free of old limiting beliefs that might be restricting us more than they are serving us. So it is time to break free out of those. For Aquarius, it is time to move into more expansion, more just investing into your future, investments in general, expanding your foundation, expanding your security blanket, expanding who you are by breaking through old limitations, limiting beliefs that you might realize like, hey, that old belief was kind of holding me back a little bit over here. Now we're realizing that there's new beliefs that can help us really move forward. So that is what we have going on in February for you, my beautiful Aquarius. Now we're going to just shuffle some cards. We're going to try to get one or maybe two cards to kind of represent the energy of the month of February. So we have the card, we have two cards actually. Ooh, okay, so we have the Nine of Cups, ooh, and then the Knight of Pentacles. So these two cards are beautiful cards. For one, the Nine of Cups talks about getting a wish granted. So the energy of February, maybe something that you've been hoping for is going to be answered, or maybe you're going to receive something that you've been hoping for in the month of February. It's kind of like a dream that we've had coming to fruition, or we finally realize the path to that fruition, because the Nine of Cups is the card of getting something that you've been wishing for. The Knight of Pentacles is making a very practical plan for your future and setting out on that plan, even though it takes dedication. It takes dedication on this plan. So there's something that's calling you to have commitment to a goal that you desire, and it's saying that this goal is going to come to fruition, and certain goals that you have will even come to fruition in the month of February. But we need to dedicate ourselves because there's more here. There's more to be uncovered in the future for you, Aquarius. There's much more. So make your goals set your goals, figure out what exactly you desire to create in your life, and create a practical plan that you are going to work towards every day to make it happen, to actually get there. And get ready for a little bit of a surprise, because 9 of Cups, you guys, that is a card of getting something that you wish for. So if you've been hoping for something in the month of February, if you've been wishing for something, get ready for some surprises, because it looks like that energy is definitely flowing into your life. So with that being said, that is your month ahead horoscope for the month of February. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future. I would love to see you there, and hopefully I'll see you in my next one. Bye! Alright, so Pisces, we start off the month of February with Venus trine Uranus. Venus is going to be in your 11th house in the sign of Capricorn. Uranus is, of course, in your 3rd house in the sign of Taurus, and it has been here for the past couple years now. So, yeah. The energy of Venus in the 11th house, Venus is the planet of nurturing the feminine. It's a beautiful planet, right? It's about beautifying certain things. Being in the sign of Capricorn, this talks about our goals, where we desire to get to, and being in the house of your 11th house, this is sort of wanting to think outside the box, wanting to kind of like create new ideas and wanting to expand more. We might even desire to nurture our friend groups a little bit more. We might desire to be around friends a bit more, just because the 11th house also deals with our friends. But the 11th house is also about our footprint, our purpose that we leave behind on the world. It is also very associated with Uranus and Aquarius. And these signs are all about thinking and expanding your mind, thinking outside of the box, kind of stepping into a new world, stepping into a new realm. And so with Venus being here, it's almost like we desire to, you know, expand our lives a little bit more, kind of discover some sort of new sort of stuff, rather than staying stagnant in our everyday routine and things like that. We're desiring to maybe expand into something a little bit more. Making a trine over to Uranus. Uranus being in your 3rd house in the sign of Taurus, the 3rd house deals with our curiosity. And so lately, with Uranus having transited this area for the past couple years, this has been really, really intriguing for Pisces, to say the least, because this is causing your mind to become very curious about almost anything and everything. And you might even find yourself researching topics that you didn't think you would ever research before, becoming interested in things that you never thought that you'd be interested in. So Venus trining this area, this is going to be strengthening your desire to maybe learn more, to get your feet wet into new ponds and to expand yourself more. This can sometimes also be short-term travel as well, especially since we're also going to have Mars making a trine over to Uranus on February 7th. This can be desiring to take more action in your life, desiring to have more things to do in your life. And it can also be short-term travel as well, since Mars is the action planet, and being in your 11th house, which is very worldly, and having Uranus being in your 3rd house. 3rd house also deals with sort of travel-esque kind of stuff. So some of you Pisces might also have some certain travel plans, or just general expansion, wanting to kind of explore new ideas, explore new things. This could even be locally, or some of you it could be some certain little trips here and there. We also have Jupiter transiting your 1st house. It's been transiting here for a little bit now, and this is also your traditional planet ruler. Your traditional ruler is the planet of Jupiter, and this is very daydreamy, so this has been causing you to want to expand yourself lately. There's been a desire to kind of step out of your old comfort zones, a desire to step into becoming more. There's a desire to be more, and Mars is going to be sextiling Jupiter on February 5th, and Mars is again in your 11th house, so there's a desire to maybe do more, or have more of an impact in your world, or have more of an impact on your friends, or have more of an impact in general. You know, you're desiring to have a little bit more of a purpose. You're desiring to expand more in your life and to do more. On February 10th, we also have Mercury that is going to reconjunct with Pluto. It has been doing a little bit of a dance with Pluto since we had Mercury retrograde over the last month, but it is going to be coming back to a reconjunction with Pluto on February 10th. And this is going to happen in your 11th house. So we're finally realizing where maybe we had certain boundaries or borders, and we're realizing that we want to, you know, shed that old skin. This could also be Maybe we're also shedding old friendships that no longer resonate with us anymore. And we might also be making very important new friendships, because Pluto is a very intense planet. It's intensifying your 11th house. Your 11th house is your impact on this planet, and it is also the area of friends and also thinking outside the box. So there's this intensifying around, I really want to think outside the box. I want to get myself outside of my regular box. And it's also intensifying friendships. So we're realizing which friendships we really resonate with and which friendships we no longer resonate with. So it's intensifying all those different aspects. So it's adding clarity to these areas so that we can begin to shed the old stuff that no longer serves us, and we can continue to move forward to the things that really do serve us. Also, another thing that I wanted to mention about Jupiter being in your first house, I'm sorry if this sounds all over the place, but another thing that I wanted to mention about this is whenever Jupiter is in your sign, it adds a lot of good luck, and Jupiter stays in a sign for around 1.5 years. And since it has been in the sign of Pisces, this is bringing a lot of personal growth, personal expansion, and it is also a great sign of good luck whenever Jupiter is transiting your sign. It will also be making a sextile over to the planet Uranus on the 13th of February. And again, Uranus is in your 3rd house. So this can be personal expansion, wanting to expand your knowledge, wanting to learn something new, maybe wanting to try something new that you've never tried before. Since the 3rd house is the house of curiosity, it's the house of Gemini. It's the house that wants to learn and become intellectual, and it's a very quick thinker. And Uranus is random things, random events, unexpected stuff happening. And so I think that there's this desire to expand into the unexpected, to try out something that you've never tried before, because I think Pisces, you've been kind of getting a little bit, maybe feeling like, I don't know, it's just time to expand. It's just time to be more. It's time to do more. And I feel like you've been feeling that itch a little bit. And that is finally going to be coming about in the month of February, this opportunity to finally expand more and try out a couple of new things. So I definitely see that happening. And then also on the 23rd of the month, we're going to have Venus and Mars conjunct, while also sextiling over to Neptune, which is your now current ruler, planetary ruler, that's also in the sign of Pisces. So you have Jupiter and Neptune both in the sign of Pisces, which are both of your chart rulers or planetary rulers. And both of these transiting over your 1st house has been bringing out a lot of good luck for Pisces. But it can also mean that a lot of things are kind of bubbling to the surface as well, because whenever we have like an intense sort of transit like that, it can cause a lot of shifts in our lives, but these will end up being very positive, very good shifts. But this can also be you questioning, like, who am I? Who do I really want to be? And it also might bring out a time of intense transformation for you as well, wanting to expand more, wanting to discover more about who you are, and wanting to step into that so much more. So you might be dreaming up a new self right now, or maybe wanting a new purpose, wanting to actually have more of an impact and wanting to become more. So Pisces, lots happening for you in the month of February, lots of new transformation and also a lot of good luck. I really want to emphasize that. Jupiter being in your sign right now, that's a ton of good luck, and also having your other planetary ruler there, which is Neptune, also in the same area. This is a beautiful time for lots of growth, lots of expansion, lots of discovery about who you are, and really starting to define that. Your soul purpose might start to rise up, and you might start to feel what your soul purpose has been, because these two planets are your planets, and so they're really amplifying this area for you, and your purpose is going to become more and more known to you during this time. So definitely be on the lookout for the new sort of interests and inklings that you get, because this is really leading you towards so much discovery and so much expansion and expanding who you are. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and pull maybe 1 or 2 tarot cards to sort of represent the energy of the month for you. Interesting, we have the Hangman, and this just came up for another group as well. Let's try to get one more for you. Let's see, one more card for Pisces for the month of February. All right, there we go. Ooh, we have the 2 of Cups. The 2 of Cups with the Hangman. So in order for you to connect with the future that you want, it's going to require, you know, kind of a new perspective. we need to reach a new perspective, because maybe a current perspective has been limiting us and holding us back from something that we really want to connect with. This could be, you know, a relationship. This could be a friendship, because again, we had a lot of friendship sort of stuff going on in your chart. This could be dealing with friendship. This could be dealing with a business that you really want, or, you know, connecting to an opportunity. In order for us to do that, we need to shift our perspective, because our perspective has been maybe stuck in our old way of being. And right now, the universe is calling you to expand right now. You have all these great planets calling you to expand yourself, but we cannot expand and connect with our new future if our mentality is the same as it used to be. We need to shift our mentality. We need to shift being stuck. We cannot keep doing the same things over and over again, expecting a different outcome and hoping that we are going to attract something new. That is the definition of insanity according to Einstein. So if you want a new future, if you want to connect with what you really desire, if you're wanting to connect with something or someone, we have to shift our perspective. We have to shift our schedule. We have to shift our life a little bit in order to match what we're trying to attract. So no longer staying stuck doing the same stuff over and over and over again. We need to add in and spice things up a little bit. So it's time to spice stuff up a bit. My beautiful Pisces, it is time to try out new things and also be open to new perspectives right now, because new perspectives are coming in for you. New opportunities are coming in for you. And in order for us to see them, we need to be open to them. We need to make room for them. So I hope you enjoyed this little horoscope, this reading for you. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I would love to have you there. And hopefully I'll see you there. Bye!